May get some more.
Good morning, everyone. We're live.
Hello.
Kev, that cut that Brian has is 54 seconds for Mike.
Okay.
So what's closed today? The banks, government offices, right? Not that we're going to a government office. No mail, right?
I don't know.
My mail people are crazy. They come at
Mine come at
9
night.
at night and then 7 in the morning. It's like
Yes.
I think they just decide when they're coming.
I think
Mine are
they
doing
have
the
so much
same
mail. They probably have I think they're backed up.
Mine are doing the same thing though. The other day it was like 7:30 in the dark, and they're driving down the street.
I think they're backed up. Some
Post
spots
offices are closed today.
Okay.
Paid street parking is free on federal holidays.
Oh, hey.
I did not know that.
I didn't either.
I've learned something new this morning. Good morning, Bob, Cindy.
I'm Dick Hafner, WJR News. And now, here's Kevin Dietz.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Hello, good morning. It is November 11th, 2020, which means it is Veterans Day. In November of 1919, President Woodrow Wilson proclaimed November 11th as the first commemoration of Armistice Day with the following words. To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nations. With that, let's bring the round table in. We are assembled. And Thomas, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Kev. I am doing well. All is well. Happy Veterans Day.
Thank you. And you too. And Dana Clark is with us. Dana, happy Wednesday.
Happy Veterans Day. And it's hump day.
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, I thought he was off. I thought the camel was off. He's there though.
Dick Hafner is with us. Dick, how are you doing today on this Veterans Day?
I am just peachy. I couldn't be better. 100%.
100%. I like it. I like it. How's everyone going to be celebrating or remembering Veterans Day today? We have probably some closures out there, right? The banks and the courthouses and things. The mail perhaps will be closed today.
Yes.
No mail delivery either. No.
And Annie said free parking at federal buildings or just everywhere. That would be too much.
Paid street parking is free on federal holidays.
On federal holidays. Okay, so that's
probably
good.
A lot of great deals out there for veterans today, right?
A lot of restaurant deals. Let me see if I can.
There should
pull
be
this
free
up
parking
really
for veterans always.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, that's true.
Right?
You are right. Government offices, schools, businesses offering free meals. You usually have to show your military ID, special discounts. So yes, take advantage of it. Vets, we thank you.
Yes, thank you for your service.
I couldn't last 1 week.
I like your idea about free parking for military veterans.
I do
I
too.
wonder how we would make that work.
Well, if you have a tag on your license plate, you probably could have a tag that says you're a veteran.
That is something that needs to be explored.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. There's a new
the Dietz Amendment. The Dietz Amendment to the state constitution. I like
the Dietz Amendment.
The Kevin Dietz Amendment.
I like it. I did read that starting today, there's all veterans are allowed free access to all the national parks. They're not going to have to pay the entry fee to the national parks, like Mount Rushmore and any of the big national parks. They're going to be allowed access for free, which is a simple way to say thank you. I mean, it seems like it would be it seems like it would be easy to come up with quite a list of things you could do for veterans always, and maybe Veterans Week instead of, I don't know if anyone's offering a free cup of coffee today or what, but
I'm sure.
It'd be nice to do that for everybody. Well, it is Veterans Day today, folks. So we will be back with more. We're going to just take a quick break and check traffic and weather at 10 o'clock.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Traffic First also sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. Construction in that Madison Heights, Troy area, 14-mile both directions between Stevenson and 75 is closed. A 14-mile is closed under 75 until 6 p.m. on Sunday. You can take Maple Road or 13-mile instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The latest in waterproof flooring technology is on sale now at Reamer Floors. Save 30% on Empower by Armstrong flooring, featuring a reinforced mineral core and superior scratch resistance. Visit reamerfloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointment.
Cold front pushing through, a leftover shower. Other than that, it looks like we're going to see the drier air, the cooler air start spilling in today. We'll see falling temperatures into the 40s this afternoon, especially with sunshine developing in the gusty west wind, more like a fall day. Tonight, clear 31, suburbs a little colder. Sunshine tomorrow, 52. And by the way, yes, we did hit our record high yesterday, 77. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stage on News Talk 760 WJR.
It's 5:43 a.m. Let's check in with Rush Limbaugh.
Newsweek, a former magazine people used to read, just ran a big expose on ICE. Newsweek reveals that ICE used commercial airlines to fly illegal immigrants back to their homes. Shocking, isn't it? Utilizing all of their investigative powers as drive-by journalists. Newsweek was able to obtain data from ICE. Turns out that United, American, and Delta were used to transport illegal aliens back to Central America. United Airlines led the pack, 677 deportation flights, making up almost half of these flights last year. American Airlines took second place, 345 removal journeys. And coming in third place was Delta with 266 flights. Jess Morales Raqueto, a former Hillary campaign staffer, now heads Families Belong Together. It's an illegal immigration advocacy group. She says that these air carriers ought to be ashamed of themselves for profiting from Trump's cruelty against families. Now, of course, like most liberals, Ms. Raqueto has it 100% wrong. These companies ought to be proud. They are helping the elected U.S. government enforce the law. And they're making a profit at the same time. That's what capitalism is all about, doing well by doing good. It's a win-win. But really, Delta, you're the biggest commercial air carrier. You're only in third place with ICE flights. You guys got to step it up this year. We're keeping a sharp eye out on this. You can do better.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR.
I was just reading more about that tragic story out of Romeo about the mold that fell on the worker. Did you see that? An employee at a manufacturing plant in northern Macomb County was killed yesterday when a 25,000-pound manufacturing mold fell on top of him from one of the interior plant walls. Can you imagine what a tragedy?
Wow. 9:55 a.m.
Yeah. It's a custom injection molding service company, so manufacturing, and it just like a terrible accident. So
do you think that's a 25,000 mold that they built that they were making for someone, or some sort of structural thing?
It says the mold fell on top of him from one of the interior plant walls.
So it's a part of the plant, you think?
Maybe, or maybe it was, you know how maybe they make them and they
typically it's
make
something
them on
that
walls or something.
Yeah,
you know?
it's typically how those accidents happen.
It's stored or something on the wall. Could be. I don't know. But
It
not.
was an accident.
Yeah. Just a tragic one for sure.
Oh yeah, over the years I've read like it'll be a work site, construction site, and something will get delivered, something big and heavy will get delivered, and they're supposed to lay it down, but they lay it upright, and then it'll tip over, and people have been hurt over the years that way. I'm not saying that's what happened here, but that's a common accident that happens. Something that's stored or delivered will be just left in the wrong position. Instead of laying it flat, they'll lay it up and down, and it'll fall over.
Tragic. Dana, what's going on this morning? What's on your mind?
I'm just trying to, I just hope tonight that I can remember to watch The Masked Singer, because for the past few weeks, I've been totally missing it because there's always something on that trumps The Masked Singer. So I hope I remember tonight, and that'll be enjoyable.
How far are we in there, and who's
It's
been
about
revealed?
a month or so into it already. Who has been revealed? I think Dick has been.
Dick watches it. Dick, are you there?
Watches it too, and he can't hear us, can he? If we're not on the air,
working.
He's probably working. I'm trying to remember. Wow, I think I've only seen one person. Oh, Wendy Williams was on there. She got unmasked.
I know her.
And I know her. And
usually these people unmask themselves, and then I have to Google.
Right, you're like, who is that? Right, especially if they're like the young pop stars. Even I'm like, who is that? So I hope to remember to watch it tonight. And it's gonna get cold. Annie, did you get your walking in yesterday? I did.
I did. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. So
Kevin, did you do your lights?
I did. I got my lights up, and I was up there for a long time, and it was nice out. I was afraid I was going to get sunburned, actually. And,
yeah, you can.
And
if you switch things up this year,
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again, substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Good morning. It is 5:49 on November 11th. Thanks for stopping by WJR 760 AM, where Detroit comes to talk. The roundtable is here. Ann Thomas, Dick Hafner, Dana Clark. Welcome, everybody. We were talking a little bit about the weather changing, and it was beautiful yesterday. I mean, just gorgeous. I think they just said it hit a record high, 70-something there, and it's going to turn today. I was saying that all week I've been trying to get my lights up before the cold weather comes, and it's supposed to turn today. Well, yesterday I got up there on the roof and did the lights. I was so proud of myself, because usually I just put like one string and I'm done. But it was so beautiful yesterday. I worked a little harder, went all the way around the house, and I was really fired up at waiting for it to get dark so I could flip the switch and turn it on, like family vacation. And right before I did that, the neighbor across the street flipped his switch. He had all these beautiful lights and all these trees. I'm like, oh, he ruined it for me.
Wow.
Completely ruined it for me.
He beat you to it.
But
have you ever had it when you flip the switch, though, and nothing goes on?
Oh, that's the worst. That is the worst. I did do the, before I came off the roof, I did the pre-switch flip, and I did have half of them didn't go on because it came disconnected.
So that was you up there. I thought it was Clark Griswold.
Right?
It was you, Kevin. Okay.
That's me, minus all the lights. If I can get one string up, I'm pretty happy.
Christmas.
A woman
can't believe it.
A woman posed as an FBI agent to score free Chick-fil-A. This was in Georgia. A woman is facing charges after she pretended to be an FBI agent to score some free Chick-fil-A. Police say 47-year-old visited the location multiple times, posing as a federal agent and threatening to arrest employees who didn't comply with their demands. When police finally arrived to arrest her, she continued to insist that she was an agent, talking into her shirt like she was talking into a radio as she was being handcuffed. Now, hopefully she's she's okay. But
Right,
but
true.
it just reminds me of how far would you go to get a Chick-fil-A or one of those Popeyes sandwiches that they stand in line forever. And I just remember one time we were traveling from a basketball tournament, and the kids really wanted a Chick-fil-A, and I'm like, look, if I pass one and there's no line, okay, but they convinced me and went out of my way. I got off an exit, and it ended up being like 7 or 8 miles off the exit. Not one of
They
those
always
just off
win.
the exits. And then it turns out I'm like, there's nothing here. We're in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, no, it says it's right here. It says it's right here. It turns out it's in some university. It's like in a cafeteria in the university. So park the car, find out which part of the university has the cafeteria, go up into the cafeteria, and everything is gated closed. It wasn't open. It was like a Sunday. And I think Chick-fil-A one day a week doesn't open anyway.
Yes.
Or at least
On Sunday.
Maybe it's Sunday,
On
yeah.
Sunday.
So yeah, so it was a Sunday coming home, drove well out of my way for a Chick-fil-A, only to find out that it was closed. Now, if I had said I was an FBI agent, maybe they would have opened it up and cooked me a
Doubtful.
call. Are you guys the type of people to wait in a long line for something?
No.
No. Nope.
No way.
No.
Negative.
Do you if you go to a restaurant and they say, what's the time? If they say it'll be 15 minutes, that's okay. 30 minutes, 45, an hour. If they say, sorry, it's an hour and a half wait, when do you cut it off and say, I'm going somewhere else?
30 minutes for me.
30 minutes?
30 for me too.
Yeah. Dick, how about you?
Yeah, 30. That sounds right. Usually, the only time that we do something like that is waiting at our favorite Mexican restaurant, which is really popular, and of course you can wet your whistle while you're waiting. So
that helps.
That's up north, and I know you go up north. Legs In is like
Yes.
that. You can't make a reservation,
No.
and you have to wait. But at least when you go there, you're going to be waiting, and there's like a gift shop across the street, and there's it's on the water, so they'll allow you to go back and have a drink and take in the nature of that place. You don't mind waiting so much. It's kind of it's expected, but it's also part of the fun of being there.
Yeah.
But, yeah, for sure.
But not at Chick-fil-A. I can't go for Chick-fil-A.
No.
no.
Well,
No,
Annie, you don't eat that stuff anyway.
During COVID, these lines at the coffee shops would go around the building, and the kids would be like, "Oh, I want a something frappe, something," and there's a line around whatever it is, Starbucks, and I'm like, "Look, there's a McDonald's over there. It doesn't look like there's any line over there." I'm pretty sure they could get you a coffee if you really need it.
And they say that's why it's not good. There's no line over there.
Right?
Yeah.
How about this one? A Rockland man has filed a restraining order against his neighbor, alleging that his neighbor harassed him over support of President Donald Trump. I didn't want to do this, Michael Mason said. They're making me have to do this. Mason says he filed the restraining order that would keep the neighbors 100 feet away from his home. He says his Ring doorbell video shows their children harassing his family with Biden chants outside the home. that's
Biden
something.
chants?
Yeah, apparently, like younger kids, you know how everyone has their signs out or whatever. And if one neighbor has Trump and one has Biden, and maybe these kids are at that age, but apparently they're out and about gloating at the win.
Push him back, way Biden. I'm trying to think of what a Biden chant would be.
They might have to ban politics in that neighborhood.
Well, it turns out
Association might have to say no more.
It turns out that there's a neighbor that lives in between the two houses, so it's like 3 houses in a row, and the Trump is one side and the Biden's the other side. This poor person that lives in the middle has no lawn signs up at all, and apparently was not saying whose side they were on in the dispute. But
man, we're getting the Hatfields versus the McCoys here.
Yeah, this is getting too much, people.
No, this is going
This is calm down.
control. No,
they're saying if 2020 has been crazy enough, they don't need any help with the lawn sign wars. But it does it does kind of remind me of the mask wars a little bit, where people get really mad and start getting physical and start, pushing and shoving a little bit. And I haven't heard very much since the election. Of course, we don't necessarily have a winner yet, so maybe they're waiting until something official is there. But
Speaking of the mask wars, Dana,
Yes,
Wednesday
Dick?
night.
Yeah, I was just saying earlier that I had not seen it for the past few weeks and that I hoped I remembered. And then we talked about you watch it as well. And then Kevin wanted to know who had been unmasked.
Dick, I'm
and all I
putting
could remember was Wendy Williams.
I'm putting all my money on Wendy Williams, Dick.
Okay.
All right, you're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll be back with much more after we take a quick break and check traffic.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Traffic First also sponsored by the Detroit VA Healthcare System. Veterans, a Detroit VA Healthcare System reminds you to not let COVID-19 postpone your healthcare needs. The Detroit VA is ready to care for you in their medical facilities and through online video visits. To learn more, visit detroit.va.gov. 696 westbound between Gratiot and Groesbeck. 2 left lanes are still closed. They will reopen at 10 a.m. today. Expect periodic delays. Once again, your 2 left lanes shut down in Roseville. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Carpenters Labor Management Partnership Team. Make a career change today. Join the skilled trades. The Carpenters, LMPT contractors are looking for professional, hardworking individuals that want to build a career with great pay, full retirement, and family health care. Text JOB to 855-424-2562. That's JOB to 855-424-2562. Hopefully you got a chance to get out and enjoy the warm temps. Yesterday, we did hit that record of 77 degrees. Today, quite different. Chilly start. Well, the start is okay. It's going to be the finish not so good. Mostly cloudy right now, 55 degrees. Landing at just 60 today, and then some peaks of sunshine this afternoon, but definitely is going to feel different out there, especially tonight. Clear skies down to 32 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
So I still like my Amazon story. Dana, I was mentioning.
What's that?
An Amazon driver was, following the GPS, and he somehow got onto the Boulder Point Golf Club in Oxford, and he claims he was just following the GPS, and he wedged himself into one of those golf tunnels, where the carts go. So this giant truck, there's a picture online, there's the giant Amazon truck. He my God, tried to squeeze in there with the truck.
So he thought, okay, I'm going to go for this.
Cart path. Yeah, it was actually just a double wide cart path.
Yeah.
He claims that that's where the GPS took it.
Where is that?
It's on the front.
Funny.
Well, it's not on the front.
No, I'm looking at the picture. I'm wondering.
It's a Boulder Point Golf Club in Oxford.
Okay.
But
that's funny.
Isn't that hilarious? It kind of goes to that issue though, following the GPS. Sometimes you follow the GPS and you end up in the strangest place.
A totally different place.
Yourself, couldn't this have been done in an easier way?
That's like those signs on the freeway that tell you how tall the bridge are. And I'm like, what are those?
Right.
For? And then all of a sudden you see a truck.
The Amazon driver.
Poor Amazon drivers. Poor Amazon drivers.
I know.
They end up in the funniest situations. Sometimes very dangerous too.
And they do have to follow GPS. You know what I mean?
Right, because that's right.
Yeah,
how else would they know?
Yeah. So
I wonder what they use. I wonder if it's Waze or if it's Google Maps, or I wonder what they use.
Yeah, that's good.
But
so that guy needs to use something else.
Something else, his own thing.
Yeah, whatever it is that he was using.
So how did they get him out? Somebody says
only the front of it's one of those Amazon vans. So only the front is in there, but you kind of would think to yourself, once you started hearing the
Yeah. The crunch of the car.
The
How about
first
a person?
scrape.
What if somebody ran out and said, "Hey, I'm right here. My packages, my golf balls. You got them." Hey, maybe the person did order it to the golf course.
Right, to the fourth hole.
Right. Oh man.
He got the whole front of the truck in there,
Oh gosh.
and then
I
things closed in.
mean, he clearly did not know how tall his vehicle was. Sometimes what they do when that happens is they just take all the air out of the tires and then
really?
drop low enough and they'll pull it out.
Get it out.
Push it through. Yeah.
Actually, it looks like maybe they did that here. I can't tell for sure.
That's funny.
Yeah, I bet he has a few questions to answer.
Yeah, like were you up last night?
I don't know. Looking at that truck, that's the day that's what I would call my last day working for Amazon. I would just get out and leave the keys.
Yeah.
Go tee it up, play 9 holes.
You know what? That wasn't the right job for me.
See if the golf course needs a beer cart
caddy.
worker.
That would definitely fit through the beer cart. Oh boy, that's funny. You're right. You know you're done. So just
Yeah,
that's another job I wouldn't last at for more than a day.
Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that would be a great workout because you would be constantly.
That's true. Getting in, getting out.
Steps you would get in a day.
That's true.
That would be amazing.
That is true. I'd be the one that was lost all the time, though.
Right. Yeah.
I get lost with GPS, so that nobody would get their packages. Remember the guy who just left that one day? He was like, "This is too much. I just can't do it. The truck is in the parking lot somewhere. Go get it."
Yes, he did. This must be more stressful than we realize.
I think it is because they're backed up because everybody's ordering because of the pandemic. So it's double, triple their deliveries. And you can see Amazon. I got an Amazon delivery. The other day. It was about 8:00. I'm thinking, who is that? It was the poor Amazon guy. And he probably still had a truckload of stuff to deliver. So I'm sure it's a bit stressful.
They run out of trucks as it gets close to the holidays, and so they rent a U-Haul. They rent the U-Hauls. They go those $19.99 a day, and there's no shelving in there, so the stuff's just all packed in there.
Oh my gosh!
And they just keep hiring more and more people because they're so far behind.
I have heard you're supposed to order your packages early this year, by the way, because of that. Because it's they're short-staffed and everybody is going to be doing it. So there's don't wait.
You're right.
Or you're going to
better get that Christmas list going.
Yep. I was thinking about that too. And we also have to mention a couple of our people when we.
Yeah, we're going to do that at the top of this, right when we come back.
Yeah. So I was thinking of sending out the note, the "What would you like for Christmas" note.
Oh really? Oh yeah. Yes.
Yes.
But the kids, like my mom is on it. She's like, what does everybody want for Christmas? I'm like, I don't know. So she said, ask Noah what he wants. He said, it's 2 months early. I said, I know, but she wants to know. They're not even thinking of.
I know, but
none of us are really thinking of. We're like, oh, wow, Christmas? Like, really? What do I want? I want everything to be peaceful. That's what I want for Christmas.
Sound like my mom. That sounds like something my mom.
How is your mom doing? How are your mom and dad doing? They're doing
great.
Good.
Yeah, they're great. Good. They're doing well. Did you see what Cindy said down here? She says, as a mail carrier during their busy season, she did over 30,000 steps a day.
Wow. Cindy,
that's
good
cool.
Job,
go,
Cindy.
girl.
Yeah. Good job, Cindy. You have to have those special shoes too, because your feet will start to hurt.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is 6:06 on this Wednesday, November the 11th. It is Veterans Day. As we honor and remember our veterans, We want to let you know about a couple of other friends that we want to remember today. A couple of friends of the station here at WJR. I'm sure many of you longtime listeners will remember Mike Worf, the longtime host of Kaleidoscope and several other shows here on WJR. He passed away at the age of 88. And Brian Morton has a little clip of some of his work, and we just wanted to play that this morning in honor of remembering Mike Worf.
I never turn the dial round, but what I feel a thrill profound, fed by the magic microphone, the air takes up its fright of tone, and carries safely every word till nationwide the voice is heard. A singer in New York appears, and distant California hears. Oh, happier world where all may know the miracle of radio. These things, the tubes and wires, now grace the mansion and the cottage place. And rich and poor alike may share the golden harvest of the air. Flies through the universe, touching every star. Always there for you. From its golden tower, WJR. This is your host, Mike Worf, and I thank you for listening.
How great is that?
He's a
What
great
a
guy.
soothing voice.
Well,
Was he?
first of all, he had a beautiful voice,
So
wonderful
soothing.
personality, excellent broadcaster, and an even nicer gentleman. And he
That's
always talked about how much he loved his wife and children.
Oh,
Just a wonderful guy, just a
That-
great guy.
That voice and the music, it just takes you back to the golden age, of radio. And you could almost picture the family sort of gathering together and sitting around the radio to listen and to hear great storytelling. That's just
He
it's
worked
wonderful.
at WJR for 39 years.
wow.
He's definitely part of the fabric of the radio station.
Helped build the
Well,
Golden
rest in
Tower there.
peace.
Yes.
It's amazing.
God
88.
bless Mike Worf.
And also another friend of ours and a friend of the station passed away, John Ahee from Edmonton Ahee Jewelers. He was just 56 years old, passed away of cancer, and he leaves behind his wife and 2 children. And we should tell people and that they can partake or watch the funeral mass today. It's going to be online at 10 o'clock this morning. And, John Ahee was just a wonderful member of the community, the business community, our WJR community. And you can find that online at solaniscenter.org. And he was a big contributor to the Father Solanas organization. And I think a lot of our listeners, know John as well.
Yes. John died of cancer at the age of 56. And he was a wonderful man. He, too, just a great businessman and absolutely adored his family. And it's a terrific loss for the community and for WJR. They've been great partners of ours for many, many, many years. So thinking about the Ahee family today and wishing them well and sending our prayers. Really tough time for them.
Yeah. Okay. Ken Spears also passed away, 82 years old. Ken Spears was the co-creator of Scooby-Doo. You guys old enough to remember Scooby-Doo?
Oh, yeah.
That was a classic.
Great cartoon.
Mandatory watching as they would unmask the villain at the end, and it would always be the gardener next door.
Yes. Yes.
Dick, are you a Scooby-Doo fan?
I love Scooby-Doo. Absolutely.
Those meddling kids in their mystery van.
And a remarkable voice, too. Whoever
Yes.
voiced Scooby-Doo, and I don't remember which star did that, they really had quite a method of using voice for animation. Yep, Scooby-Doo.
Well, Annie, you brought us, I think, the picture of the day, and maybe the most memorable story of the day. Annie sent me over a picture this morning of a special Amazon delivery. And you want to share with our audience the information of this Amazon delivery in Michigan?
It's just, I hate to say it. It's not funny, but it's funny because
It's funny, Annie.
he was following his GPS. That's what he told his bosses. And he ended up in a golf cart tunnel at the Boulder Point Golf Club in Oxford. And the interesting part about it is the van, it's one of those big blue Amazon vans, it didn't fit into the tunnel, but he kind of went a little bit of a ways trying to get it into the tunnel. So he got stuck kind of halfway, and you just kind of wonder what his bosses thought after they heard this story about how he was following his GPS and ended up on the golf course, on the cart path.
And making a putt. He did it all in one day.
Honey, I ordered you a birthday present from Amazon. I don't know why it's not here. I don't understand why it's late. I swear I got you your birthday present. This truck, the front of the truck made it through. The top of it clearly hit, and it's one of these photos. You'll have to check it out. Maybe we can put it up on our website on WJR. But it's where the golf carts go down underneath the course, and it's a rocks all around. It does not look like something you would mistakenly drive through necessarily.
Gotta follow the GPS.
And if you were going to, you would think, geez, I wonder if my truck is going to fit under here.
Right.
When I go to the mall and you drive up, I still duck in my car because
too.
I think the top of the car is going to hit one of those barriers. This one would have definitely given me pause. I said when I saw this picture, I said, well, if I was the Amazon driver here, this would be my last day working for Amazon. I would just get out of the car, quietly walk up to the clubhouse and ask if I could get a tea time because, or ask if they're hiring.
Since I'm already here, you
have
I wonder if he did get fired. Did it say, Annie?
It doesn't say. You guys don't think that they bought the GPS story?
Probably not.
My GPS took me this way. I don't know what's going on.
Probably not.
Can you imagine the tow truck saying, "All right, are we gonna tow you through this little tunnel, or are we gonna pull you out of this little tunnel?" Probably had to take the tires off to get this one out.
That's funny.
That's a funny story. All right. You are listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll be back with much more. We're just going to take a quick little break and check traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Traffic First also sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com can help your business or warehouse close out their year strong with its selection of high-quality storage products from rivet shelving and bulk storage racks to NSF carts and label holders. Shop the products you need. Step up your storage. Visit Shelving.com. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world. Delay for trucks, 30-minute delay across the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com.
Right now, pushing through, and here comes the more seasonable temperatures. This is not cold for this time of year. The mid-40s this afternoon, a little chilly with a northwest breeze and developing sunshine, maybe a shower early. But tonight's 31 is actually pretty close to average, 20s in the suburbs. Tomorrow, sunshine and seasonable, 52. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajik on Newstalk 760 WJR.
Paul W. here. Thanksgiving is around the corner, but not everyone in Metro Detroit is celebrating. Thousands of children.
Are you all good for Tanya, Kev?
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Why not? Now it's time to get serious. One of our viewers, Ron Campbell, sent me a beautiful picture of his daughter, 41-year-old daughter, serving her 22nd year in the U.S. Air Force. And her husband is also in the Air Force and an Arkansas state trooper. And then he's also got a son who's in the Navy.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah, wow. Happy Veterans Day, Ron, to you and your family. Beautiful family. Wow, that's very cool. Thanks for sending these. You know, you don't realize how many people, if you don't have somebody in the family that's currently serving, I mean, it's significant. There's a lot of people out there, right?
Yeah, and so many, families. It's a tradition to serve, which is great.
It's awesome.
Grandpa served, grandma served, mom, dad, kids, and one of my best friend's wife is from a military family, and the stories they tell of living in different places and being reassigned here. It's such a great sacrifice. They sacrifice a lot to be a part of the military and to get back to the country. It's amazing, and I love the stories.
Well, they're fantastic stories. Yeah, really, really awesome. If I had somebody serving, I would be in a constant, full-on state of worry. I'm a worrier, so I would be terrible. So I really admire these people because I would just be all day long.
Yeah, especially, and maybe not. I don't know if it's more or less, but just with the ability to keep an eye on things and watch what's going on in the world. And maybe it'd be better because you would get maybe more chances to FaceTime or something like that, or but you'd have more information on what's going on. You'd be like constantly checking, the news wherever they are and whatever they're doing. It would be tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The other group I really admire are the police officers. They're serving day in and day out and doing incredible work. If I had a son or daughter who was in the police force, there'd be another full-on state of worry all day long.
Yeah, and that's
a tough job.
That's another one of those family traditions. You don't.
Yes.
It's usually a whole family, cousins and uncles and aunts and everybody else.
It's awesome. Very impressive. All right, well, I will head backstage and let you chat with Tanya. Hopefully Tanya's phone is working better than it was yesterday.
Oh, was she the one who
She
took
was
off
our
on
one
us?
that we just all of a sudden...
Oh, boy, let's hope she doesn't do that.
I'll pop back in if she does, Kev.
All right.
So I'll be back.
All right.
At Outside Guys is brought to you in part by Waterwork Plumbing.
Plumbing, sewer, or drain problems clogging up your time? Rely on Waterwork Plumbing's 24-hour service and friendly plumbing experts to restore your pipes to perfection.
Called to have Waterwork out on a Saturday morning to replace my water heater. They arrived within 2 hours. Great price and installed and done in no time.
Leaky pipes, no hot water, or maybe you need a trusted second opinion. Waterwork has more 5-star reviews than any other plumber in Metro Detroit. Visit waterworkplumbing.com for money-saving coupons. That's waterworkplumbing.com.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
All right, in the election, all eyes are on Georgia, where they're going to have a runoff. There's also been allegations of problems with the election and possible recounts. And joining us now, keeping an eye on all of it, is Tanya Powers, Fox News correspondent and WJR contributor. Tanya, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks.
So what is happening in Georgia? How important is this state going to be to the rest of the country?
This state's going to be incredibly important when it comes to who is in control of the Senate, or how big the margin between the parties is in the Senate, for one. You have several things going on in Georgia. First of all, you've got the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party who said on Twitter on Monday, he suggested that if election officials in Fulton County, kind of tried to pull a fast one there on election night. This is what he is leveling at them. He says, that there was the county officials told the media and the observers that they were going to shut down the tabulation center at 10:30, and they continued counting ballots in secret until 1 a.m. This is what his accusation is. That is kind of goes along with other reporting from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution on another side of this, that actually it talks about the letter apparently that was sent, that was put out by Senators Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue. Both of them are Georgia Republican senators. They are going to a runoff in January, and that's what I was talking about with the the balance of power in the Senate and who's going to have control of the Senate. It depends on their runoffs. So these two senators have basically said they've come out and said unfounded claims of election fraud with the fellow. But keep in mind now, the Secretary of State who runs the elections in Georgia is also a Republican. So that's what's kind of getting interesting here. They've called for the resignation of that Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. There is now, reporting that this was from pressure. They put this statement out from pressure for the president and his, top allies, basically, that they pressured them to say this because, he would tweet about them negatively, and they need his supporters to, win re-election, honestly. They're counting on them to help them win in January. So there's a lot of political stuff going on around this, kind of like, more than just what meets the eye. Let me put it that way.
Yeah, now here in Michigan, there's a lot of complaints as well, or allegations anyway, and there's been a lot of sworn affidavits where people are at least testifying to what they saw or what they think they saw under oath and under threat of perjury, which gives it a little more weight to it. As you look at what's going on in Georgia, how because we hear about the runoff, and I think as it stands, Republicans need to get one of the two to keep power, and the Democrats need both to gain power. And we know that the presidential race was razor thin in Georgia, but as they look at do they have favorites in the runoff? Do we know who would be leading? Who the polls thought would be ahead?
Well, David Perdue's runoff was extremely close with John Ossoff. And, it's expected that there's going to be a lot of money poured back into both of these races between now and January. As far as polling, as it looks now, that's a good question. I'm not sure if there's been any post-election polling done on these two particular races. I would have to look that up. It is important to note, though, for the listeners, there's been no evidence of voter fraud in the states where you're seeing these lawsuits filed. I think another one got filed overnight, if I'm not mistaken. It was in Michigan, there where the Trump campaign has filed suit. They put out a press release late last night saying that they had done that, filed another lawsuit there yesterday.
Right.
But there has been no widespread voter fraud evidence of any kind at this point. This is the same sort of stuff that we heard in 2016, where even when the president won, he said that there was voter fraud. He formed a commission. The commission never found any fraud. So it's, we'll have to wait to see how all this plays out. But you're right about when you talk about the fact that Georgia is going to be extremely important and all eyes are on Georgia. I would say that's exactly correct.
What kind of turnout would you expect? In a presidential race, obviously the turnout is always better. In a runoff race, I don't know if everyone will go back and line up and vote again. But with so much weight on what's happening here, you could have the same kind of turnout, I imagine, as you did in the presidential race. It's really going to be interesting to see who votes and what the numbers are like.
It will be. I'm not sure that they're going to have the turnout that they had, last week. For this election, as you mentioned, the presidential election always gets more turnout than midterms or local elections or statewide stuff. However, having said that, though, I think that they've done a lot of work organizing there. They've worked on this for the past at least past couple of years. Stacey Abrams has really organized there for the Democrats a lot. So getting them to turn out may be a lot easier for John Ossoff, especially with the Senate kind of hanging in the balance here. We'll have to see, but I expect a better turnout than normal for a statewide race, but maybe not as much as the presidential.
All right, I know you have to run, so we appreciate you coming on, and we'll check back with you as this plays out. Very interesting.
Sure, thank you.
All right. So there will be a runoff in early January in Georgia, and two Senate seats on the line there. That's going to be really interesting to watch. And of course, the presidential election, Joe Biden still at 290 and Donald Trump still at 214 as the lawsuits work their way through the courts. We'll be back with much more. We're going to take a quick break. Right now, we want to check in with Dana Clark in traffic.
This report is sponsored by Everstream, the business-only fiber network. At Everstream, the business-only fiber network, they believe business deserves better. Everstream's full-service approach to business connectivity delivers the speed and reliability that businesses demand. Everstream, faster fiber, better business.
Traffic First sponsored by Michael Perna and the Perna Team Realtors. Worried if this is the right time to sell your home? It's time to call Michael Perna. Michael Perna with Keller Williams Realty guarantees to sell your home at a price and deadline that you agree to, or he'll buy it himself. Call Michael Perna, 844-737-6276, or visit thepernateam.com and start packing. 696 westbound between Gratiot and Groesbeck. 2 left lanes are closed until 10 a.m. today. Seeing delays from at least 94. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Marathon. No matter where your travels take you, Marathon can improve your engine performance with quality top-tier gasoline. Marathon, fueling the American spirit. Quite different outside today. Temps dropping to actually where they should be for this time of year. Some clouds this morning, then sunny skies this afternoon. A high of 60 tonight. It's going to be in the 30s. 32, your overnight low, clear skies. Thursday, mostly sunny skies. A high of 50, and we hit 48 with sun on Friday. Mostly cloudy, 55 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in about 2 minutes.
Hey, Michigan, Frank Beckman here, and I've been waiting a long time to say this, but online sports betting is almost here. That's right. You can bet on your favorite teams. It's coming very, very soon, but I've got even more good news. If you register your account early with FanDuel Sportsbook, you're going to get $100 in free bets once they go live. There's no deposit required. You just sign up, verify your account, you're all set. $100 in free bets just for signing up early. No deposit required, no strings attached. FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sports betting app. Easy to use, tons of betting markets, it's safe and secure, and they have fast payouts. So get to FanDuel right now. Sign up at FanDuel Sportsbook for your free account with a $100 signing bonus.
Must be 21 and over and present in Michigan. Bonus issued a non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of Sportsbook and Casino. Unique user ID verification required. Offer ends on go live day. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
The Inside Outside Guys wants to be your trusted resource for any and all of your housing needs. Hey, Chuck, a lot of the remodelers went to Congress to talk about the CARES Act.
Whoa. That sounds political.
It is political, but it has to do with housing, too.
Ken, we agreed not to do politics on the show.
No politics at all?
If you want a stress-free show, no politics, housing only, listen every Saturday and Sunday to the Inside Outside Guys.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys is brought to you in part by Sharon's Heating and Cooling.
Just as summer came fast and hot, winter will soon be here. Don't let your home comfort system give you an unwelcome surprise. Contact Sharon's Heating and Air Conditioning for heating maintenance or a free in-home estimate on new Bryant equipment. Sharon's new location in Livingston County makes service and installation from Lansing to Westland a breeze. Schedule today at
Hello.
All good for a little bit here?
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to do Tom. That interview got a lot of play yesterday in the sense that I saw people taking it and saying, important message.
Right.
About mask wearing. So I thought, well, it ran late, so it might be smart to let the early morning crowd hear what he had. Yeah,
he was good. He had a good message, and that, it's just, you try and be as careful as you can, but the virus don't care how careful you are.
No.
But it also, it's interesting because it just show you, we're going to have the governor on here in a little bit, and she's got to make some tough decisions on whether to start shutting stuff down again or keep it open and what to do. And COVID cases are going up.
Way up,
records. And the hospitals are filling up again too, because people get into that. Well, what's the death rate? Cases are up because there's more testing. That's true, but the hospitals are filling up too, and that's what's a concern. You don't want the hospitals overrun. That's when problems really start popping up. So, but Coach Tom Izzo tests positive for COVID, and he's someone who has really been out front talking about the importance of wearing a mask and social distancing and following the protocols. And the Big Ten has serious protocols. They really go the extra mile to try and not have games get canceled. Alabama LSU games canceled this week. It only takes one person to make a mistake, and all of a sudden it just spreads like crazy through an organization like that. But Tom Izzo was like, hey, I worked really hard not to catch this, and I caught it. So you have to know that you have to be careful. You can't take any days off.
Right. I also thought his testing story was interesting because he had mild symptoms on Saturday. He tested negative on Saturday. He tested negative on Sunday. He tested positive on Monday. So that goes back to this tricky issue of kids are going to come home.
Right.
What day should they be tested?
It's funny. I've talked to a lot of people who feel the effects first. They test and they're negative.
Yep, that's tough.
And then they retest and they're positive when they're actually kind of feeling better. When they're like more towards the end of it. I guess it just depends. It's different for everybody. But with Coach Izzo, it's interesting though because I think didn't he say they're testing every day, or they were testing every day. Now he's not because he has COVID, but they test every day, and so. So interesting to see how you feel versus when you test positive, when it hits your system, or when the test can pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It also kind of goes to the issue of, well, is the testing accurate? How many false negatives? How many false positives? Is that still something that needs to be worried about, considered? Probably.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Then a family member tested positive, and then the next day tested negative, and they quarantined, and they're not entirely sure if they had it or not.
So was the first day a rapid test, and the second day?
Yeah. Right. And so they think they did not have it because the fuller test was negative, right?
Yes.
But in theory, you could have had it and then didn't have it. So there is another test you can go test to see if you have the antibodies, which would indicate you have it. But I think it's some point you're testing crazy.
Yeah. Have you done the antibody test?
Yeah, I have. And I did not have any. Yes, I'm COVIDless. But it's funny when you take that test that it doesn't tell you if you have COVID currently. It tells you whether or not you had it previously or in the past so many weeks or months, however long it lasts. But so you're like, okay, well, I'm good. Well, except I might not be good because I might have it right now. It's like, just give me all these tests. I just continuously isolate.
Yeah, I know. Well, and that's the problem, right?
Well, right. And then, honestly, it's like one thing if you go into a store or go to the gas station. You go to the gas station. It's like, well, maybe I picked it up. You wash your hands. You do what you're supposed to do, and you live your life. But if you're going over to grandma's house, you might say, I don't know. But we got a good crowd here this morning. Everybody's being polite so far. Nobody's too mad at us. I like seeing these veteran stories. Those are great. I hope people out there who are listening pop on and share some more. Facebook's interesting to see how many people pop up from all over the place, and not even people who you can see in here, but I'll get a call or a text, later, or say people really, a lot of people see it. It's kind of a nice way to.
Yeah, it's really, really nice to reach a lot of people.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to put Tom on here.
All for you. Learn more about our team-based approach to care at henryford.com/cancer.
Now Back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Michigan State basketball coach Tom Izzo has tested positive for COVID-19. Coach Izzo, as you know, has been one of the biggest voices in the effort to get people to wear masks and to social distance. He shot a wonderful public service announcement encouraging all of us to pull together to stay safe. But this goes to show you anyone can catch COVID. Joining us on the line now is Coach Tom Izzo and our own Steve Courtney. First of all, Coach, how are you feeling?
Well, Kevin, Steve, thanks for having me on. I'm feeling pretty good. I have a bit of a cough and a little bit of chills yesterday, but I'm feeling pretty good. No, not sleeping much, only because it's the season's getting close. But other than that, I think I'm doing fine, and just gotta wait it out. But you are right, what you said. I mean, I can't think of how diligent we were, and I agree with the masking up and everything, and hopefully people will, realize that no matter what you do, you still got a chance to get it, but let's make our odds with us, not against us.
Coach, via your Zoom session, and by the way, you looked pretty well, relatively speaking. You mentioned that you had a little bit of a cough on Saturday, maybe some chills, ditto on Sunday, but nothing crazy. Testing negative on Saturday and Sunday, and then testing positive on Monday. Is that correct, huh?
Yeah, we've been antigen testing now every day for over 2 weeks, and I've been negative every time, and everything's gone well. And so I don't know if something happened Friday or Saturday. I told you I wasn't at any frat or sorority parties, and I wasn't at Notre Dame, so I don't know. I don't know where and how, but I think it's a good point Kevin brought up that you can't not live your life, but you just gotta try to do the things that give you the best chance. I feel I did. I got no regrets about that, and I'm going to get better here and be back on the air with you guys every Friday. And
I know you
forward to that.
I know you said, Coach, that
and
you're not sure where you caught it, but how does this change your life immediately now that you have it? You have a family. You got a family of players, coaches. How does this change your life right now?
Well, I'm sitting in my basement. I got a nice basement, thank God, and I'm just sitting down here, quarantined. My wife and actually my daughter and her husband have been here, so they're upstairs. But I'm going to watch a few practices on Zoom. I'm going to get some stuff on, Eastern, and the Duke and some of the teams we play early, and watch some film. And I'm going to give my my associate head coach, Dwayne Stevens, a chance to see what it's like too. I laughed because I said I get in an argument with my staff last week, as I always do, and I said, wait till you guys are head coaches. When I walked in yesterday, I said, well, we're going to find out sooner than we thought. So good luck, and I mean that tongue-in-cheek. I'll be working with them, but I'm not going to be looking over his shoulder every minute. I'm going to just, continue to work out a little bit here and stay healthy and let the course run itself, and then get back to work hopefully middle of next week.
Coach, you made mention of the fact, good teams very rarely get to be where they want to be minus adversity. And Lord knows your program has seen their share, Cassius last year losing his brother and whatnot. And more times than not in situations like this, true leaders are born. So hopefully after your 10 days, you go back and this team is ready to go.
I really do agree with what you're saying. Adversity sometimes brings out the best in you. I'm anxious to see how my staff handles it. I'm anxious to see how my team handles it. I said, I told my team in a Zoom call with them that, my captain's got to step up. My upperclassmen have to step up. And this is a player-coach team. It's always better than a coach-coach team. I believe that my whole life. So hopefully these guys will rally around and hold each other accountable. And if that happens, we can grow from that. Who knows? Maybe we can take another step forward in what could be an interesting year. Because, guys, there's going to be some adversity all year long. I don't care which team it is. I know Greg Campy's been out. I got a nice text from Juwan Howard and the other coaches in the state. And I think, all I can say is every team is going to go through something. And he who handles adversity the best is usually going to be the most successful. I think Cassius Winston showed all of us that last year. And now it's my team's turn to see how we can do through a little adversity.
During your isolation, Tom, will you be tested every day?
No, they don't test you every day. Once you got it, it's not like you're in and out. I mean, hopefully the symptoms don't get worse, and sometimes that happens. But so far I've been, other than a little tired, a little cough, I've been pretty good. So got a text from Greg Camp who said he lost a little bit of taste, and that bothered him. I still have my taste buds, and hopefully I'll be able to sit here and just, relax a little bit and watch a lot of film. I think the advantage of technology, I learned how to Zoom, and now my video guy can send me everything here, so it'll all be good.
Well, we appreciate your time, Coach. All the best, certainly. We're with you. Our thoughts are with you and the family, and looking forward to seeing you in great shape in the not-too-distant future. Meanwhile, get some rest, and all is well.
Well, like Kevin said, you guys stay healthy too. It's invisible disease, or virus. So let's hope that our own state here with the Pfizer, let's hope that is getting closer and closer. And I want everybody out there, stay safe and mask up, as I say.
Absolutely. Don't push it, Coach. Get better.
You guys.
All right, Steve. Thanks. Appreciate it.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. These may be uncertain times, but what is certain is that every family needs a reliable thermometer. Protect your family with the Exergen Temporal Scanner, the only home thermometer used and recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
Traffic First sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com can help your business or warehouse close out their year strong with its selection of high-quality storage products, from rivet shelving and bulk storage racks to NSF carts and label holders. Shop the products you need. Step up your storage. Visit Shelving.com. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world. 30-minute delay for trucks across the Blue Water Bridge westbound between Canada and the U.S. Construction in Madison Heights, 14-mile both directions between Stevenson and 75 closed for construction. You can take Maple or 13-mile instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org.
Took it up to 77 as we predicted, easily destroying the record of 68 degrees yesterday. Now, we'll see some cooler weather settling in. Actually, it's already settling in here. We head through this morning, a west-southwest breeze. Sunshine developing after maybe a few showers early. Falling temperatures into the mid-40s. Winds could gust over 40 miles an hour, especially early. Clear colder tonight, 31. Sunshine tomorrow, 52. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stadic on News Talk 760 WJR.
This week's IHS Market Minute with Stephanie Brinley is brought to you by Aurea. Aurea builds quiet, comfortable, durable, right into your vehicle.
Investment in electric vehicle manufacturing has been in the news lately, with announcements from General Motors, Ford, and FCA, as well as Volkswagen's introduction of the ID.4, which will see production in the U.S. Daimler, BMW, and Honda are also expected to add U.S. EV production by the end of the decade. In 2026, IHS Markit forecasts that about 10% of U.S. light vehicle production will be electric vehicles, compared with just under 4% in 2019. With expectations for a Democratic president in the White House in January, vehicle emissions regulations may shift to more aggressive targets. Though the government has regulatory and incentive levers which could speed consumer adoption, the trajectory towards EVs is already set relative to most automakers' strategy and long-term investment plans. The increased manufacturing is bringing more models to market, delivering more consumer choice. Increased choice and availability will be as critical to increasing consumer adoption as incentives or regulations. I'm Stephanie Brinley, and this has been an IHS Market Minute.
This is Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion of your Detroit Red Wings, and after 15 years in the NHL, I love playing hockey with all my heart and soul. But guys, let's be honest, the way that I play, it's tough on your body. And when it's tough on your body, it's emotionally tough. It's physically tough. The one thing that I've learned, if you can control your pain, life is good. My back was shot. I have to admit it. Sometimes the pain affected my body, affected my soul. Being a super positive person, it's a tough thing to walk around with pain. And I know that I'm no different than any of you out there. But what I did is I walked into Pain-Free Life Centers in Troy. They're FDA-approved, high-intensity, high-dose laser therapy. Got rid of my back pain with no drugs, no shots, no surgery, no side effects. Pain-Free Life Centers is so confident they can help you. Your consultation and first treatment are totally free. If it worked on my back, it'll work for you. Call 248-879-1100 or go to painfreelifecenters.com. Check out my story. Tell them DMAX sent you.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for healthcare. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. Think what you could do with that. But if you join right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fee. So that's another $170 you'll save. And MediShare is really different. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. More than 400,000 people are members, and they've shared over $4 billion in medical bills. So yes, they can handle your bills too. This may be the time to make the switch. Join before November 30th for the additional savings. It's so easy to find out more. They're great to talk to. In fact, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
Hi, folks. Craig Hubble, General Manager at Crestview Cadillac in Rochester. This is the month I want you to be driving a new Crestview Cadillac. You know, your safety is our top priority here, and I have a ton of 2020 and 2021 Cadillacs in stock ready to deliver to you tonight, fully sanitized. These are the best prices of the year, and we're experts at employee pricing. We pull ahead Cadillac leases every day, and you'll always get a Cadillac loaner here. Call us now, see us on Rochester Road or at CrestviewCadillac.com.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Hello, it is November 11, 2020. It is also Veterans Day, and if you would like to help a veteran, have we got a great way for you to do it. But I want to let the people responsible tell you about it. So joining us now is Mark Leneve, Ford Vice President, U.S. Marketing and Sales. Thanks for being on the show, Mark. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Kevin. Good morning to you, and happy Veterans Day.
A happy Veterans Day to you as well. What I really love about this is the ability for all of us to get involved with you in helping veterans out. And we can do this very easily and simply by putting the hashtag shout out there on social media. Tell us about what you guys are doing and how we can be a part of it.
Well, Kevin, thank you for the opportunity to talk about Ford's effort on behalf of honoring our military and veterans in what we call our Proud to Honor platform. So anybody in America, using the hashtag, they want to share a post on any of their social media using the hashtag Proud to Honor. And then I'm going to do it later today, remembering my dad who was a veteran of Korea and a proud Marine Sergeant for his entire life. But just use the hashtag Proud to Honor. Every time we see it, we're going to donate $100 to be split evenly among our 7 great military charities, and I'm happy to talk about those up to $3.5 million. And you don't have to get it done today. We're going to run it through the end of the year, through December 31st. So we're very excited about this, and we've had a great reaction to the folks we've talked to about it.
So all I have to do is go on any of my social media channels and put hashtag Proud to Honor, and then tell a little story or whatever about whoever I'm honoring, and Ford will pick up on that hashtag, and $100, boom, right into the charity.
Exactly.
Tell us a little bit about these 7 charities and what they're doing for veterans, and that's what this is all about, really.
Well, we worked with some of our key constituencies to identify, and there's a lot of great charities out there that benefit active military in our veterans. And we worked with Pro Football Hall of Fame, who I don't know if you knew this, has a very active support of veterans. We have a military ambassador, a retired colonel from the 101st Airborne Division, Vanette Colonel Vanessa Benson, who helped us with this. Kevin Green, the Pro Football Hall of Famer. And the 7 charities are Blue Star Families, Guitars for Vets, Disabled American Veterans, DAV, Workshops for Warriors, Oscar Mike Foundation, Bunker Labs, and Boulder Crest. And it ranges from everything for support of families who have lost a loved one in the military to rehabilitation. The Oscar Mike Foundation, as an example, specializes in keeping wounded veterans on the move with specialized wheelchairs, rehabilitation. Boulder Crest deals with mental health. Bunker Labs helps vets and military spouses acquire employment or start their own businesses. So we got a wide range, Kevin. They're all great charities. Guitars for Vets, I don't know if you saw it on TV, but Luke Combs was in a spot that Fox Sports ran for us, where $25,000 worth of guitars were given to vets, and it's been proven, with music, and it's all part of the rehabilitation. Many vets suffer from some level of anywhere from anxiety to post-traumatic stress disorder. There's been, unfortunately and tragically, lots of suicide among Vietnam War veterans over time. So these things are all critically important, and I think in a time when the country certainly is a little bit divided, everyone agrees that our military do unbelievable work, put themselves in harm's way, and we should do everything we can to support and honor them, especially when they come back.
It's great that you guys are giving money to people who are giving money to others as well, like Kathy Roth-Doke, if that's how you pronounce it, the founder of national nonprofit Blue Star Families. I mean, you guys are going to be able to provide her with money to get toys for her community.
Yeah, we're really thrilled to be involved with Kathy. It's an unbelievable story how she started Blue Star Families, and we just had, as part of our Hall of Fame relationship, Jim Kelly, the great Buffalo Bills quarterback, and a hero in his own right, a 2-time cancer survivor, one of the greatest fighters and toughest people I know, knocked on her door. We simulate the knock that the Pro Football Hall of Fame president does for the incoming Hall of Fame members, and presented her a check for $10,000 worth of toys for these Blue Star Families children for the upcoming holidays. And it's these random acts of kindness that I think are very special and mean a lot to the folks involved. And we're delighted with Ford having such a history of supporting communities everywhere from first responders through our military. To be involved in this small way, and that hopefully it does a lot of good and helps a lot of families out in the upcoming holiday season.
The pandemic sort of came into all of our awareness in March, and by May there was a real scramble on being able to get protective gear and face shields and whatnot. And Ford was able to find a way to step up and get face shields to military bases across the United States. I mean that's just fantastic opportunity and a great show of support for our military.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. It was unbelievable. I like to refer to it as the day the music stopped back in March, when basically most of America went home. Certainly a lot of people at Ford did while we were sheltering in place. But in that window, in a very safe way, our manufacturing and product development community found a way to convert over several of our facilities from parts and vehicle manufacturing to producing respirators, ventilators, which were in very short supply at the time, literally millions of face shields, plastic face shields, and masks, and they've been used all over the country. And one of the uses was we donated over 200,000 to military bases across the U.S. and actually overseas to help the military and protect them against coronavirus, them and their families on base, schools, etc. That were involved. So it was, an unbelievable effort by our team, and we're, delighted that that the military was one of the beneficiaries of this great effort of the 14.
And I really love what you're doing with Luke Combs because it's just so optimistic to support his effort to get guitars in hands of vets who can play music, listen to music, have music be a part of their life, and just it's just so upbeat. And you guys are able to help him as well.
Yeah, Kevin, it's when you see something like the individuals, and I'm privy to see some of the video that's taken or social content, and I encourage everybody to investigate these charities and look at some of the content. As it all comes down to affecting the life of one person, and then hopefully you can do it at scale. I'm involved with a great charity here in Southeast Michigan called Angel's Place, and we provide homes for disabled adults and take care of them from the time they come into one of our homes until they pass, lifelong care. And we have a sign on the wall that says, "To the world, you're one person, but to one person, you're the entire world." And, I really take that very seriously. And some of these charities, the effect you can have on one person with a guitar, with a specialized wheelchair, with job training, with toys for the children at Christmas if they lost their mom or dad in a training or overseas conflict, that's what it's all about. And the fact that we can do it at scale and Ford has both the will and the platform and the resource is something that I'm very humbled to be a part of, and appreciate the opportunity to talk with you this morning so your listeners can hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Angel's Place as well. Okay, so I just want to remind everybody, #Proud to Honor. Put your story out there, your shout out to a veteran, and Ford is going to put $100 into this pot to help all of these great charities. Mark, thanks so much for joining us on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Kevin, thanks so much. Have a great day there.
You too. We're going to take a quick break and check on weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Kevin, still nice and quiet on the roadways. Traffic First, sponsored by Ryba's Fudge Shop. Make Ryba's your one-stop shop for all your business and corporate gifts. Appreciate, thank, and impress your clients, employees, colleagues, vendors, and loved ones with a gift box of creamy, delicious Mackinac Island fudge. Visit ryba.com to complete your shopping today. Construction along 696 should be wrapping up in a few hours. This is in Roseville, traveling westbound between Gratiot and Groesbeck. The two left lanes are closed until 10 a.m. today, seeing delays from 94. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Detroit VA Healthcare System. Veterans of Detroit VA Healthcare System remind you to not let COVID-19 postpone your healthcare needs. The Detroit VA is ready to care for you in their medical facilities and through online video visits. To learn more, visit detroit.va.gov. A lot different outside today. We did hit that record yesterday, 77 degrees. Rest of the week, we cooled down each day. Some clouds this morning, then sunny skies this afternoon, a high of 60. Clear skies tonight, down to freezing, your low 32. Mostly sunny on Thursday and a high of 50. Cloudy skies, 55 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 1 minute.
Paul W. here. Thanksgiving is around the corner, but not everyone in Metro Detroit is celebrating. Thousands of children, seniors, and families will struggle to put food on the table. WJR and the Chilani Family Foundation have launched Hunger Free in the D, a 3-week matching gift campaign to support the Capuchin Soup Kitchen and Gleaners Community Food Bank to provide 500,000 meals to struggling families during the holidays.
Here's the Chilani Family Foundation's Tom Chilani.
The partnership between Capuchins and Gleaners is very strong. They help out a lot of people, and I felt it was good that Vicki and I and our foundation get behind the two of them. So over the last 5 years, the Chilani Family Foundation has been able to donate over $500,000, but we've been able to raise with that $500,000 close to $1.7 million. So that is what the power of WJR, Paul W. Smith, and our foundation has been able to do.
Join us to help out. Visit hungerfreeinthed.com or call 313-254-4788.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man. Carolers! That's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 30% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 30% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. This sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 30% off and a free camera today.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday, plus up to 50% off cutting-edge tech for your business. There's no better time to upgrade your small business with the latest laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors, plus there's free shipping on everything. Yes, everything. Give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
Need anything, Kev?
Oh no, how are you?
Doing okay?
So I did I call Mark Leneve? Is that what I said?
Started, yeah.
Leneve, and so then you said then you said back. I believe it's pronounced Leneve, which is great. But then I'm looking at. It's pronounced Leneve, and I'm not noticing the change in the A from the E in his spelling of his name. And I'm like, this is not helpful. You just gave me his name back. Like, what does this mean? What is that?
It's funny though, when you're in that, so you might know how to pronounce somebody's name, but if you've never said it before, and then you're in an interview, it's really hard to then.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Do you know what I'm saying? I find it to be the hardest thing.
Well, and probably, I mean, I probably know Mark from Angel's Place. I mean, we do. Our family does a lot with Angel's Place, and Angel's Place originated in our Catholic community, and I probably know him. It's really bad.
Well, you might just call him Mark.
Well, I did on the way out.
He's probably like, yeah, I see this guy at Angel's Place all the time. I can't believe he's got my name wrong.
Well, it's I was actually gonna ask before, but I wasn't. But I was like, well, it looks pretty straightforward.
We talked about it on Monday, but it's Wednesday.
Well, and sometimes the pronunciations throw me off as much as
exactly
when you guys give me. You guys go ahead and give me the pronunciation just a minute ago, which was very helpful. Thank you. It was like the sponsor, was it Ahi or?
Oh, Brian did that, yeah.
Or Brian, but then so I'm looking at it and I'm like, here comes the word, and then I look down and I'm like, okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah, I pronounced it, and then I pronounced it right because he gave me a good pronunciation. But then I had to look up to see where I was in the read. Like what?
I'm telling you, it's a thing. It's hard.
Names are tough. I mean, some people are really good at it.
Some people are really good.
They understand, the origins of where names come from. And
yes.
But I like, and then I totally like if you wrote it out like that, I would have to write it out like that aria. That's where Brian was. I would need like LA-NAVE. Or something like that, which would be wrong too. That'd be Lanave. I don't know.
I'm telling you, I know. I can totally relate to this. I can relate, Kev.
Oh well, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Is Dick gonna hang around at 7?
Yep, we'll have Dick hang around at 7.
We'll just chat.
And you guys can just chat a little bit here. And then we're going to be on a roll. We got a lot of guests coming here, so people watching us might want to stay tuned. We've got the governor.
Yes.
Got Matthew Schneider. We've got some psychological help for all of us. Michael,
yes, we can use that.
Donna Rockwell, Ken Leslie. I love Ken. Have you interviewed Ken Leslie before?
I don't
Veterans
think so.
Matter?
No, but I read it. I went to his website last night.
He is the coolest guy.
And they have great stories there.
Yes. And he, we kind of have partnered with them on things, and he's actually given JR a lot of credit for getting homeless people off the streets. He sent me a really nice note a while back and said, hey, you don't realize, but you're really getting them off the streets.
Right.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing.
I feel like you're making a difference. All right. Well, I will leave you. It seems like you and Dick just chat, and then away we go. I'll be really anxious to see what the gov says.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to tweet that she's coming up here. I'll talk to you in a bit.
All right, sounds good.
Food Bank Council of Michigan. I'm talking with the Michigan Economic Development Corporation's Josh Hunt, the Executive Vice President and Chief Business Development Officer, and Michelle Wildman, Senior Vice President for Community Development. Michelle, in general, what is the MEDC?
The MEDC is the lead agency responsible for marketing Michigan, fostering relationships, attracting businesses to the state, and supporting vibrant, diverse, and sustainable communities.
So, Josh, for businesses that are considering branching out, why should they choose Michigan?
Businesses should choose Michigan for our pure Michigan quality of life. We have a diverse and abundant workforce. We have a business-friendly environment and are close to global supply chain assets. Here in Michigan, we make things, and there's no better place to bring in product than right here in Michigan.
And the MEDC has a list of programs that help accomplish that mission. Michelle, what is the RRC?
Our Redevelopment Ready Communities program, which is a voluntary, no-cost certification program, promotes effective redevelopment strategies that provide formal recognition that a community has a vision for the future that makes it right for future development.
And Josh, that's just one tool in the toolbox, isn't it?
We have a carefully cultivated set of tools and programs, whether it's from entrepreneurship and innovation efforts or access to capital. We provide the tools that companies need to grow. We also support economic growth through our Michigan Business Development Program to help attract highly competitive projects to create good jobs here in Michigan.
Learn more about the MEDC at michiganbusiness.org.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
Good morning. It is November 11th, Veterans Day. President George Washington said the willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation. Maya Angelou said how important it is for us to recognize and celebrate our heroes and sheroes. A shout out to female veterans. Joining us now is Dick Hafner. Dick, happy Veterans Day.
Thank you. Same to you. I think we all celebrate Veterans Day, whether or not we're a veteran.
Yeah, and it's just so important today and every day to think about how we treat our veterans and what we can do. Just the littlest things make a difference. And veterans can go through a lot when they come home and transition. We're going to talk about that later in the show. But it's super simple to be nice to people, and it's really easy to be especially nice to a veteran.
Absolutely. What they've done for us, immeasurable, whether or not they're in combat. It doesn't matter.
So here's a kind of a cool story. America's national parks are celebrating Veterans Day with free lifetime passes to those who serve their country. Veterans and Gold Star families granted lifetime passes to national parks. So America's national parks are celebrating Veterans Day. They're giving away these passes to all veterans, and starting today, veterans and Gold Star families will be granted America the Beautiful passes, they're called, which is great. And they have free access to all national parks, such as the Grand Canyon, Yosemite, Mount Rushmore, you name it. They are now going to be able to go to any of those places for free. The Interior Secretary saying that the passes allow veterans to visit the iconic and treasured lands they fought to protect. And that's pretty cool.
Good. That's very good. And it should be very easy. That's an easy thing for the federal government to do because they are on those places.
Right. It's a no-brainer, just a really easy, inexpensive way to make veterans feel appreciated. And it seems like we could do so much more of that, I think about like free stuff on my birthday. Do you get a free car wash and a free cup of coffee somewhere?
Yeah.
A movie.
Well,
but
seems like a growing number of businesses have been doing that the last few years.
Yeah.
There's lots of good deals out there today for veterans and their families.
Yeah, all you have to do is Google it, and you'll see. You can spend the whole day going around collecting free stuff.
Right,
which
but you notice that more and more businesses display year-round nice breaks, discounts for various products and services for military veterans and for first responders too. Don't you find that more and more where you go into a business and they've got the sign up saying if you're a military veteran, you're going to get this or that, and you see more of that than ever.
Yeah, I also like when I go to one of those big crowded shopping places, and there's signs that say parking for veterans only. And they get a special place to park. There's also some place to do free parking on Veterans Day. But I like when they have a designated spot for where veterans can park. And I wouldn't have a problem if I'm standing in line and veterans are able to take cuts. That would be fine with me too.
Absolutely.
Probably cause a scene in the stores. But I just think. I think there's so much you can do, for this group of heroes, and we see a lot of stories. I mean, how hard it is for veterans, and a lot of them. We have a big veteran homeless population problem, and even there. And today, you probably heard our story, but you go hashtag proud to honor, and Ford Motor Company is going to put $100 into this pot of money up to, I think, $3.5 million that they're going to give to these 7 different charities that help veterans. And so, I mean, the least we could do is let Ford give $100 on our behalf by just going to our social media and saying hashtag proud to honor, and then whoever you're proud to honor, and they're gonna put $100 in the pot.
That is wonderful. Well, thank you, Ford Motor Company. That's a great gesture.
Yeah, and we're gonna
putting their money where their mouth is.
We're gonna talk to Governor Gretchen Whitmer after the break and see what's going on with our Michigan veterans and check into some other things. So we're looking forward to that interview as well.
All right.
All right, Dick, we appreciate it. We will talk to you again soon, shortly. Right now, it's time for WJR's Business Beat. And here's Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community right here on WJR.
Good morning. We all know how dramatically our lives have changed in 2020, and along with it, businesses, specifically our small businesses, have been forced into dramatic change as well. One of the more glaring changes, the need to be online as a primary way of doing business, not a supplementary way. But figuring out how to do that efficiently and in a low-cost way that delivers a supreme customer experience, well, I've got a tip for you on how to do just that. One of the most highly recommended go-to turnkey solutions to consider is Shopify. With over 1 million merchants now on board, it's easy to use, and it can put you in front of a worldwide marketplace readily and efficiently. Once you're on board with Shopify, it will run seamlessly behind the scenes, powering your website so that you can conduct all e-commerce activities from getting found to closing sales. I spoke with Samantha Renee of Shopify this morning, and she offers a step-by-step course on how to get started successfully with Shopify, and had this to say.
Our broad mission at Shopify is to make commerce better for everyone. And that just means making it easy for people like entrepreneurs who want to, whether it's start a new business or even bring an existing business online, we make that easy. And you can start a store on Shopify, which is like your full website. And from there, you can host your products and sell products, whether it's in person or online. And it just gives you an easy way to sell globally. We make shipping easy. We make all the things that you might bump into as a business owner. You will have access to all of the things that I mentioned before in terms of managing your inventory. You get discounts on shipping. You get access to 24-hour customer support. You get everything that you would need to start and grow a business for $29.
So needing to ramp up your online sales or thinking of starting a new online business of your own? Think Shopify. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Blue Water Bridge still moving slow westbound between Canada and the United States. A 30-minute delay for trucks. A slow ride along 696 westbound between Gratiot and Groesbeck. Construction has your left 2 lanes closed. seeing delays from at least 94. Now, WJR Weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The latest in waterproof flooring technology is on sale now at Reamer Floors. Save 30% on Empower by Armstrong flooring, featuring a reinforced mineral core and superior scratch resistance. Visit reamerfloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointment.
Cold front pushing through, a leftover shower. Other than that, it looks like we're going to see the drier air, the cooler air start spilling in today. We'll see falling temperatures into the 40s this afternoon, especially with sunshine developing in the gusty west wind, more like a fall day. Tonight, clear 31, suburbs a little colder. Sunshine tomorrow, 52. And by the way, yes, we did hit our record high yesterday, 77. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajik on News Talk 760 WJR.
The easiest way to stay warm and save money is to visit dteenergy.com/saveenergy.
Hey, I can save on my energy bill just by wearing a sweater?
Just turn down your thermostat to 68 or below and dress warmly to save money and still be cozy. Easy, right?
Keep rugs off vents, open blinds when it's sunny? Well, that's easy.
Told you so. At dteenergy.com/saveenergy, you can learn even more. DTE.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers! That's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 30% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 30% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 30% off and a free camera today.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday, plus up to 50% off cutting-edge tech for your business. There's no better time to upgrade your small business with the latest laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors, plus there's free shipping on everything. Yes, everything. Give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SP Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Hey, Michigan, online sports betting is almost here. But wait, if you register your account early with FanDuel Sportsbook, you'll get $100 in free bets once they go live. No deposit required. Just sign up and verify your account and you're all set. $100 in free bets just for signing up early. No deposit required. No strings attached. You see for yourself why FanDuel Sportsbook is America's #1 sports betting app. Easy to use, tons of betting markets, safe and secure, fast payouts. Just sign up at FanDuel.com/100free to claim your $100 in free bets. That's $100 in free bets when you visit FanDuel.com/100free.
Must be 21 and over and present in Michigan. Bonus issued a non-withdrawable site credit that expires 7 days after FanDuel goes live in Michigan. $100 is distributed as $50 site credit on each of Sportsbook and Casino. Unique user ID verification required. Offer ends on go live day. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
I'm attorney Mark Bernstein. As kids, my sister Beth and I spent Saturdays with our dad, Sam Bernstein, driving all over town when he visited with clients and their families. And we learned as young kids that clients are like family. And that's what you do for family. Every day we fight for families like yours because we are family.
We are family.
The Sam Bernstein Law Firm, Michigan's first family of law. 1-800-CALL-SAM.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Our next guest has an extremely busy schedule. She's an extremely busy woman, and we are grateful that she took a few minutes to come in today and update and check in with our WJR audience. Join us on the line now is Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Welcome to the Paul W. Smith Show.
Yeah, good morning. Glad to be with you.
Yeah, it's Veterans Day. We have about 600,000 vets in Michigan. How are we doing enough for them? What can we do? What more can we do?
I think it's important on Veterans Day and, frankly, every day to acknowledge the incredible sacrifice the men and women in our military and their families who support them make on all of our behalf. You know, throughout COVID-19, it's the Michigan National Guard that has been able to really ramp up and help us get people tested. When we had a historic flooding event in the Midland area, the National Guard that dropped in hours and helped get people to safety. These are men and women who walk amongst us every day. They're our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers, and it's important to acknowledge the sacrifice that they make on all of our behalf. So yesterday we introduced some bipartisan legislation to create a reciprocity system for certificates and credentials. So any member of the military who chooses to make their home in Michigan gets acknowledgement and credit for the credentials they bring with them without having to go through some burdensome additional regulation and testing, et cetera. So we feel like this is a way to acknowledge the great training and dedication of our military and military families and make Michigan a place we'll call home.
Yeah, and I think it's important for all of us to find out what the resources available to veterans are so that we're aware, so that when we see veterans or we meet veterans who are needy, we can help make them aware, help them find out what's available to them in the state of Michigan and across the country.
That's right. And, I've been to so many deployment ceremonies, and it's always an honor as the Commander-in-Chief of the National Guard to show up and to talk with our troops. But it's always important, too, that we, inform and reiterate over and over again to families of our military men and women that there are services that are available. And we want to make sure that they know that. Because it's tough. It's tough to see your loved one deploy for months on end. And when families are confronting issues, we want to be there to support them.
So Governor Collins' dictionary declared lockdown the word of the year for 2020. The COVID numbers are shooting back up. People want to know, are we going to step it back? Are we going to move back towards locking things down? What is the strategy? The World Health Organization has said that they're not sure lockdowns work. We believe masks do work. Distancing definitely works. Where are we at and where are we headed?
Well, I think it's important to acknowledge COVID-19 is a novel virus, and that means we've never seen anything like this before. When it was ravaging our state early on back in March and April, there was no question that we had to do something dramatic, and the stay-home order was absolutely necessary, and studies have shown that it not only saved lives, but put us in a much stronger position to re-engage our economy. And to this day, we have one of the best re-engagements in the country. However, we have started to drop our guard. The temperature is starting to fall, and we're going back inside. It also coincides with flu season, and we're seeing our numbers go up. We've got to double down on masking and physical distancing. It is really hard around the holidays. We all want to get together, bring generations of our families together like we always do, watch the Lions game and have a great meal. And yet we know if you combine more than one household, it creates a more dangerous situation. More than two households, it ups that dramatically. So we've got to really have a strategy going into this winter. There is good news. There's light on the horizon. Pfizer's announcement of a vaccine that they're going to produce here in Michigan is so, there's so much reason for optimism, and yet we've got to grit our teeth and get through this winter, and it's going to be challenging, but we know what works, and we just all got to do it.
We all see the numbers, and we see, and they're shocking, and they're high. And then there's a large group of people who say, well, those numbers are high because there's more testing, so the numbers are going to be higher. What catches my concern is the hospital beds. Are the hospitals filling up? Because I'm hearing that they are in Michigan, in some parts of Michigan more than others. But are we keeping an eye on where we're at on space for people who need to be hospitalized with COVID?
We're working very closely with our hospital systems across Michigan and our local departments of public health. They are on the front line. They do incredible work, and they are stressed. And I've talked with a lot of nurses and doctors who've been heroes throughout and are really, I think, struggling to keep up the stamina. And yet we're still very much in COVID-19, and that's why the more of us that mask up, the more of us that take the physical distancing seriously, the fewer of us will get COVID, and the easier it'll be for us to navigate these incredibly serious moments. The hospitals are filling up, and as hospitalizations go up, we will see fatality rates go up as well, and that's why it really is important that each of us does our part here.
So I heard there was an election recently. You were a big supporter of one of the candidates, and in a pretty big public fight with one of the other candidates. What is your take on the election? There's been challenges here in Michigan. Where are you at on this?
Well, I was very pleased to see our election turn out, dwarf anything we've seen before. I think we had greater turnout than we have had since 1960, which is pretty incredible in the middle of a pandemic. We also saw very little drama here in Michigan. So it was a decisive victory across the country. It was a decisive victory here in Michigan. I give my heartfelt congratulations to President-elect Biden. And I look forward to partnering very closely with the Biden administration to get our arms around COVID, get our economy back up and running, get our people back to work, and our kids back in school safely.
Is it hard to get support and help from Washington if you're battling with the president? And is it easier to get help and support if you are friendly with the president?
You know what? I can just say this. I don't go out of my way looking for fights with anybody. When President Trump set his sights on me because he was unhappy that I observed there was not a national strategy on COVID, it created a lot of vitriol, and certainly I've been dealing with the aftermath for a long time. But the fact of the matter is there's not a national strategy around COVID, and that's one of the reasons that I'm really optimistic about a Biden administration, because I know that they are going to follow the science, that they are going to listen to the experts, that they will deploy a national strategy that will save lives across the United States and mitigate the economic pain we're all feeling.
All right, Governor, we do appreciate your time. I know you got to run. Thanks for checking in. Please stop in again and keep our listeners up to date on what's happening as this COVID keeps all of us on pins and needles as we try and get through these next several months until the vaccine is available. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, Kevin. Take care.
All right. We will be back with much more. We're going to take a quick break and check traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed delivers quality candidates, so you can focus on hiring the person who is a good fit. Claim your $75 credit for your first post at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Traffic First, also sponsored by Ryba's Fudge Shop. Make Ryba's your one-stop shop for all your business and corporate gifts. Appreciate, thank, and impress your clients, employees, colleagues, vendors, and loved ones with a gift box of creamy, delicious Mackinac Island fudge. Visit ryba.com to complete your shopping today. Accident reported along US 23 southbound at M59. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. Looking at cloudy skies, currently 48 degrees, a high of only 60 today. Much cooler, more sunshine this afternoon. Tonight down to freezing, clear skies 32. Mostly sunny skies on Thursday and a high of 50. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
I'm attorney Mark Bernstein. As kids, my sister Beth and I spent Saturdays with our dad, Sam Bernstein, driving all...
Hello.
So it doesn't sound like there's any lockdowns coming.
I think they're gonna. I think they're gonna do that as a last resort. But I mean, when I almost, you like doing the conspiracy theory stuff, or whatnot. But people will be like, well, if she locked us down before for our safety, why wouldn't she lock us down again for our safety? And people will say, oh, well, they locked us down before to try and change the outcome of the presidential election.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
And what's interesting to me is I just feel like with the election, with the voting behind us, we don't know necessarily the outcome, but with the voting behind us, I feel like now all decisions can be made for the betterment of everybody, there doesn't have to be politics in every decision, but But I imagine that that's really wishful thinking and very naive on my part. That's probably a full-time, 24-hour a day, 365 day a year effort to figure out how to politicize every single thing in the world. But no, I thought, she came on. I'm sure she doesn't. I'm sure she doesn't want to lock stuff down, but she doesn't. I think I asked about those hospitals. I think that's where you got to make your decisions, because if there's room in the inn, you're okay. If they're running out of room, then things look a little different. And there's probably, I'm sure they know what worked and what didn't, but there are ways to lock certain things down where the spread would slow. Like, for instance, you talk about all these college kids coming home. I mean, you can just see all these college kids coming home, and there's going to be a spike, right? I mean, some of them are going to have it, some of them are going to share it, and so you could do things. I don't know that they will, but yeah, it was interesting. I guess we didn't get the answer we wanted, but that's because I think
Kind of got a no answer.
Yeah, I think stuff changes every hour, and they said. When she was reopening very slowly, remember how, I mean, boy, I'm sure you remember, we talked about it a lot, but, they reopened slowly, and people thought, well, maybe if you open slower, you won't have to go back and close as quickly, but I don't know.
I don't know. I think you're right, though. I think just watch the hospital and see what happens. If they have capacity,
right,
they'll probably try to weather this.
And it's up. It's up. I
What's
think
it up today?
50% in the past, couple of weeks or something. And they don't, it's different because like they're, one hospital maybe at 80%, but another one might be at 10%. You can go. And that was one of the things the first time around. I was like, why aren't we getting these patients that are stable enough to move them to areas, in the state where there's not, not such high numbers. But,
Yeah, that's the other thing to watch will be like, you haven't heard too much out of Detroit. They seem to be keeping it.
Except I heard they're talking about opening their field hospital again.
Yeah, I did hear that. I heard that TCF. Yes, I did hear that, but I haven't heard a huge increase in the actual Detroit numbers. Have you?
No,
I guess
not
we should
necessarily.
look into that.
They, we're, that's one of the things I guess you can get into it, but you take a look at where it's hitting. I mean, the nursing homes are really a problem again. I mean, they're really starting to focus on the nursing homes again, and again this whole idea with the weather turning,
it's a thing.
It's a thing, yeah, because you can't go visit somebody outside anymore. You can, you can go visit your parents and sit outside and chat with them in the summer, but in the winter you can't do that. So you're either looking at them through the window from the icy outside, or you're looking at a computer screen, or more likely you're going to visit them and just taking a little more risk,
Yeah, which is. And right now, some of the nursing homes I was noticing, they won't even let you come visit.
Well, and the restrictions are back up.
A note the other day.
Yeah, the restrictions are back up at hospitals too. Only one visitor at a time, and so we're we're heading back. You can feel it. You can see it. The signing in, the contact tracing that's going on at restaurants and things like that. It's all little signs, and you can just it's like looking out your window that we had that beautiful day yesterday in the 70s, and I think it's going to be in the 50s today or something.
And the leaves are down. And
when it hits the 30s, then maybe I'll watch the hospital beds. You watch the temperatures, and let's see if when it gets, because
and let's get the numbers to match up then.
Well, the flu's going to hit too here.
Oh, soon. I know.
And so that's going to hospitalize a number of elderly people or compromised people.
Yeah.
They're going to go need hospital beds for the flu. And so that conversion of the flu and COVID is probably what they're looking at. And I don't know, maybe more social distancing will keep the flu numbers down.
I think it will. I think masks and more social distancing is going to keep the flu numbers down, because that's what it proved to be in Australia. Yeah. So Australia had a lot less trouble with the flu this year, because people just naturally are being more careful A lot of people still aren't back at the office. A lot of kids are still at home. So they're saying that, look at Australia, we likely won't have as much trouble with the flu, which would be a good thing.
There'll probably be a nastier flu, though, because we're not as immune because we haven't been in contact with people. So the people who get it, maybe this might be a good year to get the flu shot. unless it gives it to you.
Well, there's that theory, too, There's theories everywhere, Kev.
Yes.
It's like you get up in the morning and we're on to the next theory.
I know. It's funny how you can individually, just move in your thought process on those theories. You're like, nah. Like, wait, I'm on board now. No.
I don't know. No, you're absolutely right. It's true. All right, I'll let you talk to
Matthew Schneider's up. This should be interesting.
Yeah.
Fireworks in Washington with the U.S. Attorney General William Barr.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see what he has to say about this.
Probably not much, but I think he'll at least be able to tell us what the plan is without getting into it. It's one of those things where he's in charge of the cases that they might look at.
RFCenter.com. Again, the number is 1-800-452-0208.
Charles and David Barkman are licensed in Michigan for the products they sell.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
U.S. Attorney General William Barr told federal prosecutors that they should examine allegations of voting irregularities before states move to clarify results in the coming weeks. It caused a huge stir in Washington, with Republicans saying, hey, look, fraud should be investigated. Democrats saying this is just a desperate act for President Trump to try and stay in office. Here in Michigan, Attorney General Dana Nessel said this would reverse a DOJ policy that has stood for 40 years. Under this policy, the DOJ Election Crimes Branch has declined to investigate election fraud until the election is concluded, the results certified, and the contests and recounts resolved. With yesterday's memo, DOJ policy allows investigations of voting and vote tabulation irregularities before elections are certified. Joining us on the line now is U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Michigan, Matthew Schneider. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, Kevin, and happy Veterans Day to you.
Yeah, happy Veterans Day to you as well. Really important to think about and honor and do good things for our veterans. I know you can't get into specifics on this story, on this issue, because your office could be potentially looking at cases. But tell us about this memo and your interpretation of it.
Sure. So it's important to understand the background. I mean, think about this. In pretty much any case, if we receive evidence of a crime or a fraud, in any case, we investigate that and we work with the FBI or our partners to look into the crime. But in the past, prior to this memo, that was not the case for election crimes. If there was an allegation of an election crime or election fraud, that would be referred to Washington, D.C. And there was a special office in the Justice Department that would look at that. And essentially the directive was that we would take no significant investigation until after the results of the election are certified. So in Michigan, that's November 23rd, which is about 2 weeks from now. So what Attorney General Barr has said is, he said the voting is concluded. The voting is done. If there's a substantial allegation of voting irregularity, then it's okay to look into it if it's credible to do so. And I think that makes a lot of sense. I didn't really understand this policy all that well because, think about it. I mean, if we receive an allegation that somebody is robbing a bank, we don't say, well, let's wait a few weeks and then we'll look into it later. No, we don't. We act upon that right away. And there is some sense in making a delay if there is an election that is ongoing. But the election is done. The people have voted. And so this memo will actually be very helpful in allowing us to investigate and look into things.
There's a lot of old policies, a lot of old laws, and some of them we just find out are outdated. They don't make sense anymore. There's a lot of old policies and old laws that are old because they're really good. They make a lot of sense. Is this one of those cases where Attorney General Barr looked at it and said, this doesn't make sense, or was this held in place for a reason? Are there two sides to this story that this should be done because it's better for the country? Or is this just saying, look, we investigate all cases of fraud. We should look at this. It's not going to impact the voting. It can't impact the voting.
Well, it can impact the voting. That's correct. And the point of view was that people thought Washington shouldn't interfere in Michigan's election. And that's why people should stay out of it. The investigation shouldn't take place. But the election is over, as I said, and people have already voted. So it makes sense to be able to investigate crimes when they take place. And I, for one, have never understood why you had to wait until after the election was certified before you could look into an allegation of fraud. That has never made sense to me. Since then, I was an assistant U.S. attorney. And so I think this is helpful, and I think this policy should remain in effect, throughout further administrations.
How would having the federal offices look at fraud be different than the state, attorney generals or other offices looking at the fraud?
Well, the statutes are very similar, and whether it's a federal or a state crime, and it's all very case by case. But the important point is to be able to investigate, and that's what we do. I mean, we investigate crimes. We have a grand jury system. We look into things. We see whether or not the allegations are true. And in this election, there have been a lot of allegations. There's a lot of allegations out there, but you can't charge somebody for a crime if there's only an allegation. You have to make sure that the person is proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. And it's important to have all those tools available to us and be able to look at all those things when we can, where appropriate.
Yeah, and to me, the most important thing is the credibility of our election process. You want to know that your vote counts and that whoever got the most votes, or however the system is actually set up with the electoral college, that the right person wins. Do you see this as investigating to improve the system? Because some people are alleging that this is just to investigate to try and change the current results.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate. I think the people of Michigan deserve to know that their elections are conducted properly. And we expect that, and we deserve that. And the Justice Department has a very important role to ensure that there is public confidence in our elections. And that's exactly what's going on here. And just to make sure that things were done properly, and if fraud was committed, then that is followed up and prosecuted appropriately.
Okay, we will be watching your office to see if any cases do in fact develop and what we learn from them. And hopefully, and like everybody says, and I think knows, there's always some fraud that takes place in a major election in a huge country. But hopefully we find things that help us make the elections safer and more accurate in the future. Matthew Schneider,
Right,
thanks for being on the show. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me just add that, there's a difference between crime and slime, right? So not everything is a crime. Only things that, line up to be a crime under federal law or state law are crimes. And those are the types of things we're looking into.
All right. Matthew Schneider, thanks for being on the show. We really appreciate you helping us out there.
Okay. Thanks, Kevin.
All right. We're going to take a quick break. We got much more of the Paul W. Smith Show coming up. Right now, let's check traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Earlier accident along US 23 southbound at M59. That accident is already clear. New collision along the Jeffries eastbound at Inkster Road. Right 3 lanes blocked. Traffic getting by in that left lane only due to a crash there. You are backed up from at least Merriman. And 94 westbound at Van Dyke, accident blocks the left lane, slow from Connor. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Detroit VA Healthcare System. Veterans of Detroit VA Healthcare System remind you to not let COVID-19 postpone your healthcare needs. A Detroit VA is ready to care for you in their medical facilities and through online video visits. To learn more, visit detroit.va.gov.
Right now, pushing through, and here comes the more seasonable temperatures. This is not cold for this time of year. The mid-40s this afternoon, a little chilly with a northwest breeze and developing sunshine, maybe a shower early. But tonight's 31 is actually pretty close to average, 20s in the suburbs. Tomorrow, sunshine and seasonable, 52. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stejik on Newstalk 760 WJR.
Hi, I'm Ken Rogolski, and this week we celebrate National Apprenticeship Week, highlighting the top union construction skilled trades apprenticeship opportunities in Michigan. Today I'm talking with John Hartwell from Operating Engineers 324. John, tell us a little about apprenticeships in OE 324.
At Operating Engineers 324, we operate the heavy equipment you see in construction, cranes, bulldozers, excavators, and more. And the path to those careers starts with apprenticeship. Our apprentices are learning both in the classroom and on the job, earning a good wage from day one while operating the equipment that is building Michigan today and well into the future. So if you're over 18, have a driver's license, and like the idea of building roads, bridges, and skyscrapers of Michigan, we invite you to learn more.
Thanks, John. And to learn more, visit oe324.org and keep listening this week to hear all the great ways the construction industry is shaping Michigan's workforce.
Leadership is more than just doing things well. It's striving to do things better. So DT is working on grid upgrades to provide more clean, reliable energy right now. I'm Heather Rivard from DTE. We're committed to improving power reliability for all our customers.
What's the perfect gift for every guy this holiday season? Untucked shirts. They're the comfortable, easy-to-wear styles every guy loves. That's because Untucked shirts are designed to be worn untucked, so they help guys to look sharp and feel comfortable. Who wouldn't love to unwrap one of our iconic button-downs and best-selling fabrics like super soft flannel, wrinkle-free cotton, and performance with stretch? Use code SHIRT20 for 20% off your next purchase at any Untucked store or at untucked.com. Untucked, shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Don't you love that feeling when you've just nailed your look? That's how it feels to use Stitch Fix, your personal styling service that delivers hand-picked clothes right to you. Stitch Fix is simple and convenient. Sign up in just a few minutes, and you can try out new styles right at home. And there's no subscription required ever. So, isn't it time you started nailing your look? Get started today at StitchFix.com. Stitch Fix, personal styling for everybody.
It could be a routine drive to pick up the kids after school or an epic road trip across the country. No matter where your travels take you, we know those miles count. We're Marathon. We have over 5,700 stations across our great nation. Our people are working hard every day to provide you with quality top-tier gasoline to improve engine performance and fuel your life. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
My doctor says I need spine surgery. I'm terrified.
I've tried everything for my bad disc and nothing has helped.
One surgery has led to another. Don't let this happen to you. At the Disc Institute, our sole purpose is to keep you out of surgery by treating the cause, not just your symptoms. Our high-tech, non-invasive treatments are designed to fix your disc and avoid surgery. If your neck, back, or sciatic pain is due to herniated, degenerative, or bulging discs, call today, 586-416-DISC. That's 586-416-3472.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
It has been so beautiful outside this week, but the long, cold, dark winter is coming. COVID numbers are high. Isolation is a problem. Fear is very real. So is depression. We need to be paying attention to our own mental health and the mental health of those we love. Joining us on the line now is Donna Rockwell, Detroit area psychologist. Donna, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Kevin.
I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people, like, when the weather is great, I am upbeat and optimistic and fired up. And then when it gets dark and cold, I'm like miserable. I'm tough to be around.
Yeah, I know. It's very tough. You know, there's things like seasonal affective disorder. It's called SAD for a reason. It is tough when it gets darker outside. So that's why it's really important, even if it's snowy or if it's cold, the sun is still out there. It's important to get outside a little bit at least, walk around the block, around the house, something, so that we can keep our spirits up during this dark winter we're going to have.
I know that just being able to walk outside the past couple of weeks have made me a little less anxious about all the COVID news that's coming in, but I'm pretty fearful about what's in front of us for the next several months. The numbers are going up. There's good news about a vaccine, but we're talking about the spring, and it's hard to get excited about something that isn't here yet. And what is here right now is rising COVID numbers and shrinking numbers of hospital beds, and it makes people very anxious and uncertain.
It makes sense to be anxious, because why wouldn't we be anxious? So rather than being upset that we're anxious, we need to accept that this is an anxiety provoking time. Just like sometimes we're sad or sometimes we're happy. We just have to sort of be with the feeling we're with. And one thing that's good to do is to reframe our mindset. We can't change the current situation, but we can change how we react to it. And some things to keep in mind that will keep us sane, if you will, is we need to stick to a daily routine. We need to be proactive and organize our days. This is a time of sacrifice. There is some sort of war going on. It's a COVID war. And if it was a time of war, we'd have to figure out how to deal with it, how to get through it, and how to sacrifice during this time. Another thing to make sure we're doing is socializing. Humans are social animals. So even if it is Zoom or the telephone, do keep in touch. I know I sort of just feel like hibernating and not calling anybody, but we need to push ourselves to do those kind of things. We need to take control back, put down our devices, don't watch television for a little while, play board games with our family, do some projects you wish you had done before, a professional project, get working on that book, listen to music, read, and remember to keep exercising. We need to keep moving. The body needs to move. Also, with anxiety, question the thoughts before we accept them. We can watch thoughts. We attach too much meaning to thoughts. They're actually just cognitive bubbles passing by. So we can say, interesting, I'm feeling that way. So question how we're thinking before we buy into it. Is it an opinion or is it a fact? And if it's an opinion, just let it go. And maybe embrace, instead of the fear of missing out, embrace the joy of missing out. Take this time to, be with ourselves, be with our families, recharge for when the pandemic is over, and then we'll be raring to go. So we've been through this before. We're all kind of quarantine experts. So we need to remember what all those skills were and to follow through with them. We need to breathe and be mindful. We hold our breath so much of the time that we don't even realize it. So when you realize you're holding your breath, just simply breathe. A nice short breath in and then a long, slow dissolving breath out. And we need to do that for like a cycle of 3 times, and we'll actually calm our brains down and our physiology. We can't expect our mind to be calm if we don't create calmness for our body.
Yeah, as this has gone on, I've been more and more worried about the seniors, the older people, and loneliness and their need for human interaction. But I was reading a study that said we really need to keep an eye on our younger people. This Gen Z, this age group between 18 and 23, are really struggling. Are you seeing that? And what is that about? What's causing that?
Yeah, the statistics show that is the age group that is most struggling, because if you think about it, that's when we become socialized. We say goodbye to our parents, we go hang out with our friends, and we start envisioning life after being home. And these children, really, young adults, are missing out on this very critical time period. So we do have to keep an eye on them. If they're showing signs of depression, we need to make sure that we're always talking to our children, checking in with them, even if they don't seem sad. And if they seem too sad, not coming out of their room, not talking to friends, we do need to get them some professional help. And also, you mentioned elderly people, Kevin, and that's right. We need to check on them, reach out, see how a neighbor's doing, knock on a window, check in with our parents, our grandparents, and keep that connection, because older people really rely on that for their well-being. And when it comes to the holidays, I think we need to start making them special now. Plan on what can make this Christmas special for everybody, and we need to really be creative. As we look to sacrifice now, we will be able to create better times later, and we need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, I have 3 kids in that 18 to 23 age group, and the one thing I've really noticed is like where a lot of us might say, "Hey, I really enjoying this working from home thing. This is great." My kids and their friends, they don't want to be working from home. They want to be working with other people. They want to learn from older people and mentors, and they want to associate with younger people at work. And it's a big part of their life, this socialization. And my kids at school, they don't want to take class online. They want to get up and go to class and see people. And I just wonder if there's anything we can kind of look for to see, how much, if it's impacting them more than we think. Are there signs to look for?
There are signs to look for, like this isolation, and if they seem sad, if they're withdrawn. But one thing that's so true, Kevin, is that our kids get their feelings from how they feel we're feeling. We need to represent resiliency. We're one team working together. This is a unique situation. It won't last forever. And sometimes life takes sacrifices. We are in a global pandemic. People are dying. Hospitals are getting filled up. And we need to act accordingly. If our children see us be resilient, and that's really what we're going for now, resilience. If they see us be resilient, us have self-care, practice self-care, take care of ourselves. The saying, we need to put on our own oxygen mask, like the flight attendant says, before we assist others. If our children see us doing this, they will learn then how to do that. And in fact, they can come out of this time more resilient and more grounded and ready for their post-pandemic life if we can keep their mindset going in the right direction, if they can model after our resilience.
Yeah, I know the first time through, people were like, boy, how are you getting through this COVID? I said, I hate to say this, but I'm actually really enjoying the family time. These family dinners and board games and hanging out together was really a joy. But as it goes on month after month after month, it gets harder and harder to sort of keep that up. But I think you're right. I think if we can get behind that again and get excited about, as the holidays come up, an opportunity to really get to spend more intimate time with fewer people, if you can sort of look into that and get excited about that, it is an opportunity if you can look at it that way, and probably your kids will respond better as well.
And the choice in every moment of our lives is to either see the glass as half full and half empty. If we can lean toward half full, we can all learn how to live like that together. And I suppose that is the silver lining, is that we get to really, really know, love, and be with our families and our loved ones during this time. It's not going to last forever.
All right, Donna Rockwell, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
My pleasure, Kevin.
All right. And if you know somebody who's doesn't have a lot of family and might be isolated, reach out and give them a call. Go knock on their window and wave at them and let them know that you care about them. We're going to take a quick break. More of the Paul W. Smith Show after we check on weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
Couple of problems out there. Accident blocking 2 lanes, 94 westbound at Van Dyke. Stop and go from at least Connor. Left 2 lanes blocked. Traffic getting by on that right shoulder. 30-minute backup along the Jeffries. Traveling eastbound at Inkster Road. Accident blocking your right 3 lanes. Seeing those brake lights from at least Farmington Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Musk Construction Careers. It's National Apprenticeship Week. Earn while you learn in your union apprenticeship and graduate debt-free. We need qualified, motivated individuals to help us build Michigan. Musk Construction Careers, Management, and Union serving together. Learn more at mustcareers.org. Change in the weather starts today. Some clouds this morning, sunshine this afternoon, a high of 60. We did hit that record yesterday, hitting 77 degrees. Clear skies tonight, freezing, low 32 for Thursday, and a high of 50. And on...
Hello.
Okay, so we got to tell Dana, there's no clouds. There are no clouds out here.
No clouds here.
It's absolutely gorgeous out.
It might be. It looks a little bit of wind. Looks a little colder. Looks colder.
It looks cold. It's colder.
But yeah, let's see. Flag's blowing. Oh, my flag. Yeah, my flag's blowing. My flag's blowing pretty good, but no clouds.
So yesterday, a wind gust picked up our umbrella, the heavy cement thing.
Mm-hmm.
Picked it up and carried it into the yard. And smashed it into the grass.
Wow.
Needless to say, the umbrella is Bye-bye.
What day was that? Because there was some
Yesterday.
bad winds a week ago. I didn't see anything.
It was bizarre yesterday. You could just see it. It was like this whirling wind, and it just picked it up and pushed it into the yard. I mean, like carried it. It was like
Wow.
just a wind gust. Yeah, very strange. That was great advice from her. I might run that early again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean that's a
You can't say that enough, I don't think, right now. I mean,
No.
everything she said was just so good.
And yeah, it's so funny. I was thinking this morning before we got on. Actually, I was thinking of a friend of mine that it's an old teacher. He's married. He's got a wife, but they have 2 kids, but one's in New York and one's in California. And I'd like to visit and call and see how they're doing. And I haven't in a little while. And I'm like, that this COVID, it's good to check in, a little more often, just to let people know you're thinking of them. But no, I think that's good.
Yeah, she's just so.
I was going to ask her if my master plan for staying upbeat would work. I've got I've moved the bird feeder right outside my window and went and bought a bunch of bird feed, and I've even put like some apples out. So I got squirrels and birds all converging outside my window where I work, and it's funny, but I've been really enjoying watching them battle for the food that I put out.
This is so funny that you say this. So Jeff Marcero, the head of our sales team, he has sent me pictures of the ongoing battle between the squirrel at the bottom of the bird
feeder
and the birds, and he is working diligently. He too put it right. He has got it somewhere by his workspace. He's been working diligently, and I mean diligently, to figure out ways to keep the squirrel from getting into the bird feeder.
Yeah, because you can't grease the pole because
that's what I suggested.
It's bad for the squirrels. It makes them more vulnerable to other prey because they get whatever you use to slick down the pole. It gets them stuck in grass and bushes and things. So they say that you can do that, but it puts the squirrels in danger of other prey. But it's funny because I had a really nice bird feeder and we had some work done and it had to come down. So I just went and bought a little one, and I'm having the same thing. The squirrels, they could almost knock it down if they ran hard enough at it. But they jump on it and they climb up and they knock it all down. And this one I got is cheap, and so it's small, so I can't go get like this big cone thing, one of these big things that they sell. They actually sell something that you can fasten to the pole to keep the squirrels from getting up. But this one's so little, so I took a lid off of a coffee can, like the Folgers coffee can, and I poked a hole through it. And so I literally have this hole, this little coffee can thing so the squirrels go to climb up the pole. They climb up the pole, they hit that Folgers cap, and they can't get over it, so they go back down. But then,
clever. I think you should talk to Jeff.
But then they grab at it, and then the Folger pole. They eventually get the Folger cap to come down low enough where they can jump over it, hit the pole, and they go up. So like literally, I'm in this war with them where I have to keep an eye on it and move it. Now, if I just go get a better feeder, and I will at some point, or a better cap, you could secure something that they can't climb up, but so that if there's something to stop them, like this circle cap, they can't get over it. But it's funny, so they'll climb up and try and pull it down. And once they pull it down, they just climb over there. They knock the whole thing over, and all the feed falls out. But it's like this constant game of watching where it is, and I'll go back out and lift the cap up higher.
Do you guys think maybe you and Jeff should form some type of a group?
I'm scared.
You guys could share.
Well, sadly, there's there's very easy solutions to this. This is one of those problems that has been solved. You just have to go do it. But I think there's fun in trying. I think the do-it-yourself solutions is good.
Yeah.
But
it's mentally healthy for you, actually. Go out there.
But your advice will get you in trouble with PETA. The squirrel lovers of America are going to be very mad at you for greasing down the pole.
Yeah, well, I didn't realize that, man. I guess I take that back. I don't have this issue because we don't have a bird feeder.
It's so funny that you're like afraid to measure. My kids just make fun of me. I'll send them
Well,
pictures
sure.
of the squirrels trying to climb the thing, and they're like, "Seriously, Dad, what is wrong with you?" But then I was telling my parents about it, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, they have a hanging bird feeder hangs off the window, and the squirrels jump onto the bushes and then onto the windowsill, and then they try and leap up just to knock it, just to get a paw on it to knock the feed down, and then they'll eat the feed that's on the ground." And
We
then
have a different battle here. It's with the deer.
Oh yeah,
it's big.
We have a lot of deer around, but I don't really have them on my property. I must not have the right apple trees or whatever they're looking for.
It's bad. It's really, ours eat anything. It doesn't matter. We spray that stuff. We spray different product, anything that we can think of.
They're scary when you walk out the door and there's one just in your driveway.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, they're so big. Like you walk out and they're like, whoa. And then our kids all run and stuff. They're running, and then the deer are right there. And 2 days ago, there were 2 deer. I mean, I see deer every time I go for a walk, but they're not like literally in my yard, but I see them, around. But we went for a walk, and then we saw a coyote like just sprinting after the deer, and I'm like, "Whoa!"
Do you think the fence helps you?
Yeah. Well, so the pool fence helps for sure, and sometimes I will see them on the other side of the fence occasionally.
Okay.
But the vegetation out there must not be as good as the neighbors or something. But it's pretty funny.
Yeah,
Mark's saying they have bird feeders that made to prevent squirrels. I know they do.
See, that's why you guys need a group.
Yeah, and Mark, I had a great one, and it came down because of some work we had done at the house, and so I wanted to quickly solve it, so I just picked one up at I think Ace Hardware, and I just put it up. So it's too tiny. The thing I have is too tiny for the squirrel preventer contraption that works, but. I will get that worked out. And then, Mark, maybe you know about this too, but some bird feed claims to be able to bring colorful birds like cardinals and bluebirds instead of brown birds. and so people are always talking about what kind of feed they put out to get the best kind of
an able buyer that can close in just
also, Mark,
2
it's
weeks.
fun to watch the
Upraise
squirrels.
offers. That's
me
UPR
versus the
ACE.
squirrels.
Find it now in your app store today.
From the great voice of the Great Lakes, this is Paul W. Smith on WJR with Kevin Dietz filling in for Paul.
It is 8:06 on this Wednesday morning, November 11th. It is Veterans Day. In 1983, President Ronald Reagan said, "Veterans know better than anyone else the price of freedom, for they've suffered the scars of war. We can offer them no better tribute than to protect what they have won for us." And joining us on the line now is Michael Reagan, the son of President Ronald Reagan and the Reagan Legacy Foundation president. Michael, thanks for being on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Hey, it's good to be with you. And people need to remember my father was the first president to go to Normandy on D-Day, 1984, 40th anniversary, and speak on D-Day. And ever since then, every president has followed and spoken on D-Day at Normandy, France.
And what was that like in the household, on a return trip from that? Were you able to understand the gravity of it, when he would share stories like that?
Well, I grew up hearing stories from my father riding out to the ranch at 8 years old, 7 years old, being regaled with all the military songs he would sing to me and what have you, and stories he would tell me as a young child. By the time he was in the White House, I was married, 2 kids, and on from there. But the effect he had on the world with that speech, and the effect he had on me a few years later, I was asked to raise the American flag at the American cemetery at Normandy, France, and I just said, I'm there, and got on a plane and flew. And on a Sunday, I raised the flag at the American cemetery at Normandy, and that was, in early 2000. And I said, there needs to be something else we could do to remember these men who gave of their lives, or willing to give of their lives for all of us. And so the Airborne Museum and I made an agreement that we could brick in the walkways between the 4 buildings at the Airborne Museum in St. Mary Glees, which is the first town freed by America, at 4 a.m. in the morning of D-Day. And so people can now go online to walkwaytovictory.com and they can purchase a brick. It's $250 and put the name of someone they know or someone in their family knows or they want to remember on that brick engraved, and then we will place it at Normandy, France, at the Airborne Museum for people to see for all time.
And how amazing that must be to be able to go there, to see that, and then to see a brick that's there honoring somebody that was important to your life. I mean, that's just got to be an unbelievable moment in your lifetime.
An unbelievable moment, and to go there and see these bricks in the ground now with the names of those who served in the European theater, Second World War. So people go to walkwaytovictory.com, honor a veteran on this Veterans Day. It's 101 years that we've had Veterans Day, and we need to honor them every day. But this is a special day. And if they don't know someone, they go to ReaganLegacyFoundation.org. They can send a check to us in the memo. Just put, Brick Project. We'll find that veteran. We'll put the name on the brick and send you all the information so you can live through someone who in fact served in our European theater and helped save the world back in 1944. So I really appreciate being on.
I know that with COVID, things have been open and closed. Has it been able to stay open, or have they closed? Has that given them ability to make improvements?
No, well, they were closed for a long time. They opened just before D-Day, so it's like everybody else, opening and closing, depending on what the country is to do. But we've been able to get some bricks in there and get them put in the ground. I think we have 300 more now on the way to Normandy to put there in the brick project. So it doesn't stop you from being able to order. And remember, it's $250, but any money left over ends up going to the scholarship program that we provide for the men and women who serve on the USS Ronald Reagan. So you have the oldest generation, the ones that freed us, remembering them and paying it forward for the newest generation. But I got to go, and I just say thank you very much.
We really appreciate the time you gave us, and we will get that information on our website. Thanks for joining us. Can you imagine the stories around the dinner table or at the holidays in the Reagan household? Unbelievable. That's a great project they're working on. And after the break, we're going to come back and talk with the founder of Veterans Matter and hear some more amazing stories on this Veterans Day. You're listening to the Paul W. Smith Show. We'll take a quick break and check traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19. Use an accurate thermometer for twice daily checks. Protect your loved ones with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the only home thermometer recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. Stay safe with Exergen.
By the Michigan Building and Construction Trades Council, it's National Apprenticeship Week. Earn while you learn with a union construction skilled trades apprenticeship. Graduate debt-free and build a lifelong career. Learn more at michiganbuildingtrades.org. 94 westbound at Van Dyke, accident blocks a left lane, now delayed from at least Chalmers. 3 lanes blocked along 96 eastbound at Inkster Road. A wreck there has you slow from Farmington Road. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Sponsored by Reamer Floors. The latest in waterproof flooring technology is on sale now at Reamer Floors. Save 30% on Empower by Armstrong flooring, featuring a reinforced mineral core and superior scratch resistance. Visit ReamerFloors.com to schedule your shop at home or in-store appointment.
Took it up to 77 as we predicted, easily destroying the record of 68 degrees yesterday. Now, we'll see some cooler weather settling in. Actually, it's already settling in here. We head through this morning, a west-southwest breeze. Sunshine developing after maybe a few showers early. Falling temperatures into the mid-40s. Winds could gust over 40 miles an hour, especially early. Clear colder tonight, 31. Sunshine tomorrow, 52. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic on News Talk 760 WJR.
Hi, I'm Rick Edelman with a warning. Millions of people are buying stocks they think are low in price. Watch out. A lot of investors have no idea the risks they're taking. But you're holding steady, right? You haven't made a trade all year. That could be a problem too. With COVID on the scene, you might need more in cash than before. Maybe you need to reduce your market risk as well. Are you sure your portfolio is COVID ready? Call us at Edelman Financial Engines and let's review your investments and your entire financial situation and see if you're in good shape as this crisis continues. It's not the time to go it alone. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. Talk with one of my colleagues here at Edelman Financial Engines. We'll review your portfolio and make sure you're ready for what comes next. And we'll help you get through this crisis just like we've helped clients get through every crisis for the past 35 years. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Online at ricedelman.com.
The Inside Outside Guys wants to be your trusted resource for any and all of your housing needs. Hey, Chuck, a lot of the remodelers went to Congress to talk about the CARES Act.
Whoa. That sounds political.
It is political, but it has to do with housing, too.
Ken, we agreed not to do politics on the show.
No politics at all?
If you want a stress-free show, no politics, housing only, listen every Saturday and Sunday to the Inside Outside Guys.
For housing information you can trust, go to theinsideoutsideguys.com.
The Inside Outside Guys is brought to you in part by Waterwork Plumbing.
Plumbing, sewer, or drain problems clogging up your time? Rely on Waterwork Plumbing's 24-hour service and friendly plumbing experts to restore your pipes to perfection.
Called to have Waterwork out on a Saturday morning to replace my water heater. They arrived within 2 hours. Great price and installed and done in no time.
Leaky pipes, no hot water, or maybe you need a trusted second opinion. Waterwork has more 5-star reviews than any other plumber in Metro Detroit. Visit waterworkplumbing.com for money-saving coupons. That's waterworkplumbing.com.
When the forgotten poor are suffering and in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, the largest floating civilian hospital in the world, with volunteer medical staff and crew who donate their time to save lives. Heroes of mercy, like these.
Every human being has the right to be treated as human, to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the look in that patient's eyes or the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
We bring hope and healing to one person, but that person belongs to a family, and that family belongs to a community.
Together, these heroes of mercy and friends like you bring hope and healing to those who desperately need it.
Thank you! Thank you!
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org today.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Derek is an Army veteran living in Detroit, Michigan. He resided for many years with a significant other. After he had a stroke, Derek became homeless when his significant other just dropped him off at the John Dingell VA Medical Center without any plans. A security deposit request was submitted and approved the same day through Veterans Matter, which allowed Derek to move in immediately and secure housing. These are the kinds of things that would not happen without Veteran Matters. When you make a donation to organizations like Veteran Matters, people like Derek don't end up on the street and they end up with housing. There's a million stories out of Veterans Matter, and here to tell us some of them and talk about this important day on Veterans Day is Ken Leslie, founder of Veterans Matter. Ken, thanks for being on the show.
Well, good morning. How are you, Kevin?
I'm doing well. I love going to your website and just reading the stories. A lot of, the websites, you'll find out what charities are about, what they do, who they help. But what I really love about the Veteran Matters website is the stories, the people. It's just so heartwarming to see that, when we help, real people are being helped.
Absolutely. It's personal that way. The story you just read was our 3,000th veteran that we've housed, and he's still housed today. And it's so powerful to recognize that what your donors do is they're the ones that give the veterans a fresh start. We created this to house 35 local veterans. It grew when Dusty Hill, ZZ Top, John Mellencamp, and actually Mitch Albom helped us or asked us to expand to their areas and helped raise the funds. And now we've housed over 4,000 veterans in 25 states nationwide. 711 of those are Michigan veterans.
And one of the things is this how tough it is to transition. People come back and they need some help. They're not sure where to get it, and there is help out there, and it's important to sort of all of us to educate ourselves about what's available, how people can get help, so that when we see people who need help, we're able to direct them.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's a pride issue sometimes about wanting to ask for help. Other times it's you saw something in war that you have to run away from. So you get to drugs or alcohol to escape, and that doesn't work. So you run to the streets, become homeless to try to escape it, and you can't. And then you end up at that dead end. You talk about 22 veterans a day. When you're homeless at that dead end, where else do you have to go? I mean, you're at the end of your road, and what our program does is gives veterans the opportunity to have that new hope, that new fresh start, and return to autonomy.
And a couple of years ago, I did a story. We went out and we took our cameras out on the streets and really tried to understand, what was going on in the homeless community here in Metro Detroit. And we found out there's a lot of homeless people, for sure, and a lot of homeless vets. And we found that out on the streets, they really are trying to help each other. They look out for each other. Like they see somebody and they're not feeling well, they'll give them their water, or they'll make sure they get to the next meal. But people are really just hanging on, especially in the winter months. It's really, really difficult for these people. And I talked to one family, and they said, my brother is a veteran and he's homeless, and he can't. We tried to help him, and it just doesn't work out. But we know that he's getting help out there, and we want to try and get as much support to these agencies and charities that are helping the homeless, because their life and death really relies on it. And I think you can't emphasize enough the importance of having organizations like yours out there for veterans and homeless people in general, for other charities that help them.
Yeah, absolutely. But I do want to say that he may not be ready now, but I always call them not yets, because they get to a point where they want to turn their life around, and we're able to help them do that when they make that decision. And from your story, you bring up a really good point, and something that I've seen too. I mean, they'll have the last cigarette button, they'll share it with a friend. Somebody will have gloves, and they'll see a child without gloves, and they'll give them that gloves. And what I recognized is it seems that those who have the least give the most, and those that have the most give nothing.
Yeah, it's that's true. I mean, we talked at the end of our story about just the simple idea of keeping a case of water in a case of socks or underwear in your car, and when you see homeless people, give them some water, give them some socks, some underwear. They are so appreciative of anything and any help you can get. But what's important is organizations like yours, you can really take them from helping them for the moment to helping them for the rest of their lives. Can you walk us through that journey of getting help and getting better?
Sure. I give all of the props to the VA homeless program social workers who actually are the ones that work and find the veterans in the shelters. They help them find a place, their own apartment, wherever they want, or home, depending, like if it's a family, and a long-term housing voucher. So it's permanent housing. And once they're housed, they get case management. The problem we discovered was that homeless veterans don't have the deposit to be able to get housed. And I know a lot of working people that don't have a deposit to be able to get into a place. So what we've done is create a system that when the VA has a veteran who has nowhere else to go for the deposit, they let us know. And we immediately approve all conforming referrals and send the check to the landlord the same day, allowing the veterans to get housed literally in minutes.
Yeah, and one of the things is that it's like, I hate to even like really admit this, but for a long time I thought, oh, homeless, like the homeless with like a group of people, the homeless. But when I went out and on the streets and got to talk with them and get to know them, they are all people with fascinating stories, interesting stories, some hard luck stories, some have amazing talents, and always, one thing or another brought them to where they are. But none of it by design, and
right.
It's just as you get to know people, it just makes you want to do more for them, because you know that you're able to bring them back to where they were at one time.
Right, exactly. You're dead on with it. And people, I mean, it's not like somebody sits there and goes, in high school and goes, someday I want to be homeless. There is a set of circumstances that creates that. It's sort of like multiple chambers in a lock. And what happens is for whatever reason, they end up looking for that new opportunity to change their lives. What we have found is 1/3 of the veterans that we house are homeless because of financial or domestic reasons, a divorce, that kind of thing. 1/3 of them are in a center area where there are some issues, but they're still functional. And then 1/3 of them are what we call chronically homeless, which is the stereotypical homeless person. And these are the people that we give the most help to turn their lives around to be able to move forward. And again, because of the VA's case management in this program, I just can't give them enough props. This program, that we do is it gives them a 91% success rate staying housed.
And to be able to see the improvement and to see them like the life come back into their eyes and their smiles, I mean, it's got to be very rewarding at the end of the day.
Absolutely. And we went back and looked at 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 and to see, and they've all been housed, but number 1,000 was a veteran in Toledo, Ohio named Camara. And he had been homeless for the domestic reasons. And once he was able to get housed again, his first goal was to be reunited with his children. Because of the circumstances that he was in, he wasn't able to. And since then, I think it was 2016, he has been able to every holiday be with his kids and be able to have them in the summer. So when we say it's a new start and a new life, this is the opportunity that we give them. And all of your listeners have been so good in supporting Veterans Matter, our Cardboard to Headboard campaign, and helping to raise money and Cumulus across the country. We're so grateful that people take that opportunity to help those who fought for us. When we know they'll die if we don't, we just do.
And what is the website again, and how can people help who are listening?
So one of the they can go to the Veterans Matter website, make a donation. Your sister station, New Country 93.1, is doing this incredible campaign. You could go to veteransmatter.org/931cares and make a donation there, and they'll mention the veteran's name on the radio. And not to take anybody away from WJR, but it's all in the family, and the family is all working together.
For sure. All right. Well, Ken, thank you so much for coming on. Veterans Matter, doing such great work, helping the homeless here in Metro Detroit. We appreciate you coming on the Paul W. Smith Show.
Thank you so much. It's all team, and we appreciate everything you guys do.
All right. Have a great day. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more. We're going to check traffic and weather with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Don't take chances with COVID-19 and your family's health. Use the Exergen Temporal Scanner to check temperatures before dinner and before you leave home. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the #1 thermometer recommended by hospitals, doctors, and nurses. Stay safe with Exergen.
Traffic First sponsored by IBEW Local 58 and the National Electrical Contractors Association. NECA, November 11th is Veterans Day. Thank you to all who have served and sacrificed for our great country. The NECA IBEW team recognizes and values the dedication, talent, and work ethic veterans bring to the job. There are opportunities for vets in the electrical industry. Contact us today to learn more. www.poweringmichigansfuture.com. 96 Jeffries eastbound at Inkster Road, accident blocking your right 3 lanes, traffic getting by in that left lane only, brake lights from Merriman. Also a slow ride along 94 westbound at Van Dyke, accident is clear but still backed up from at least Chalmers. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel is brought to you by McLaren Health Plan. McLaren Health Plan is helping families stay healthy with coverage for virtual doctor visits, flu shots, and access to over 140 hospitals in Michigan. McLaren Health Plan, the right plan for right now. Learn more at mclarenhealthplan.org. Some clouds to start, sunshine later to finish. Much cooler today, a high of 60. Tonight's freezing, clear skies, 32. Seeing partly sunny skies, 48 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Dick Hafner in 2 minutes.
Hey, Sean Belegian here for Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Living in Metro Detroit my whole life, I've been a fan of Wigley's for years. From the old world flavor found in the time-honored family recipe to the consistent quality, Wigley's has been an Eastern Market staple since 1924. Now, it's the best time of the year to enjoy Wigley's corned beef. Whether gathering with friends to root on the green and white or maize and blue, tailgating at home for our Detroit Lions, or celebrating with loved ones during the upcoming holiday season. I invite you to head on down to beautiful Eastern Market and pick up some Wigley's today. Wigley's is cooked to perfection every time. Or if you're really daring and you're the master of your own pit, you can even smoke Wigley's corned beef at home like I do. For more information and market hours, call 888-WIGGLYS or go to Wiggly's.com. That's Wiggly's.com.
This report is sponsored by SafeExcavator.com. Call or click 811 before you dig. There's a lot of stuff underground you can't see, and every few minutes somebody digs into a line, pipe, cable, or wire. Don't be that person. Call or click 811 before you dig and visit SafeExcavator.com.
It's a record we don't want to break. COVID-19 cases.
U.S. COVID hospitalization numbers have reached a record high of more than 61,000, while new daily cases have passed 136,000 for the first time. That's 8 days in a row on 100,000 or more new cases. There are healthcare staff shortages in some states, and Texas has become the first state with more than 1 million cases. In El Paso, they're adding more mobile morgue trucks from 4 to 10 because of the death rate. Maryland has new restrictions starting today following a case surge there. Johns Hopkins says there have been more than 239,000 U.S. deaths due to COVID-19. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Michigan set another single-day record for the COVID. 6,473 new cases of coronavirus reported by the state health department.
All set for Congresswoman Slotkin, Kev?
Yeah, I think so.
I just sent her statement on the Esper firing.
Did you? Okay.
I mean, you know, you kind of know what she's going to say anyhow, but you might guess. I do think yesterday too. Weren't there other people that left the Pentagon?
Yeah, there was a flurry of activity. I think like about 5 people.
Turnover fuels alarm in the Pentagon.
Yeah. Is she trying to plug this bill she's got going?
Yeah, she'll whatever. Yeah, she'll talk about whatever you need. I just, and her race was fairly close, I think.
It was.
Talk a little bit. Should probably talk a little bit about that too, if you wanted.
Yeah, we'll. She's a talker. She's usually pretty good. It kind of goes fast when you get somebody out like this because there's so much going on.
I know.
Like the governor. I mean, got to talk to the governor about quite a few other things. You know.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out here. There's a lot going on here. There's a lot you can talk about right now, Kev. There's no shortage.
No shortage.
Put it that way.
I know.
I was wondering if you had maybe an expert for tomorrow on the Tracy Green, the judge, the Wayne County judge, facing misconduct charges. Take a look at that story. So they're alleging that she knew that her son was abusing his children, her grandchildren.
Mm-hmm.
And the complaint, I read the complaint last night, and it's so sad. And I'm just wondering if there's an expert or somebody who could talk a little bit about what would be her culpability in that?
Yeah, those are interesting. Those family situations are interesting because I've seen some cases like that, and then they go back and they get into it, and some of the allegations, it's like, well, wait a minute, how much do you know? How responsible are you? What are you supposed to do? How do you intervene in a family problem like that? I mean, there's a lot of other things that come up. A lot of times those charges don't make it through.
They don't stand.
Right.
Okay.
But it'll be interesting to take a look at that. I'm trying to think, like, maybe it's someone from Health and Human Services area, somewhere along those lines, like some sort of agency that helps families identify stuff rather than sort of the legalities or I don't know.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at it.
Take a look at it. Tell me what you think.
Yeah. Those are so sad. We can bring some more sadness to our show.
I know.
No, it's interesting. It's really, and domestic violence is up in COVID times. I mean, the local police will tell you it's a real problem. And then these kids, the grandparents, when a kid, I'm not getting into that particular case, but there's lots of cases where a kid is 13, 14, 15 years old, and a grandparent is 70 years old, and they're scared inside that they could be physically hurt, but they're tough because they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be disciplining, and but in the reality is they have no ability to control the situation at all.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, I mean, these kids are bigger and stronger than grandparents, and it's not a fair fight with young healthy parents against teenagers.
No.
Right.
Very funny. Yes. Yes, that's exactly right. All right, I think she's standing by, so I'm going backstage.
There is nothing more beautiful than a tree. Unless, of course, it's fallen on your power lines. Fallen trees are responsible for nearly 70% of the time DTE customers are without power. So DTE is stepping up efforts to trim overgrown trees to keep you safe and the electric grid reliable. And it works. Where we've completed tree trimming, customers have had 60% fewer outages. Learn more at dteenergy.com/tree care. DTE.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
Alyssa Slotkin won a second term representing the 8th Congressional District in Michigan in a close race, and she joins us now. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Happy Veterans Day. I understand you are introducing a new bill today, and I wanted to give you an opportunity to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. It's a bill that came directly from the feedback we were getting from veterans on the ground. It enshrines what's called the Solid Start program, which is basically when folks are going from active duty and they're coming off the rolls, they're going to become a veteran. We have this problem where people don't know the benefits they qualify for. They need things. They don't know about programs that are set up deliberately for them. So we started this program so the VA has to reach out at least twice in that first year that someone is a veteran and tell them their benefits, their access, their programs, give them sort of everything that they need so that they need help with housing, with food, with getting a new job, with apprenticeship programs, all those things. It's all sent directly to them at least twice in that first year to help get them off to a good start in transition.
Yeah, I cover this issue a lot with people coming out of prisons, and it's so hard for them to transition and to get up on their feet and get going. And a lot of the issues are similar for veterans. Why do you think that transition is so tough for veterans?
Well, listen, I mean, my own husband, right, was in the military for 30 years and he was an officer and had, lots of opportunity to learn, but you still don't know because a lot of these programs, they have no advertising budget. So there may be a program that, let's say, helps veterans get their first, loan for a small business, but they have no budget to advertise that. So the veteran goes into the bank, has no idea to ask for this program, has no idea that his veteran status even helps him or her. And so I think part of it is just like publicity and people not knowing. And then people don't know, that there's a one-stop shop where they can get all this information, right? It's like a full-time job to figure out all the benefits that might be available to you as a veteran. We need that one-stop shop. We need to know where that is so that anything you need, you go to one location. And I think that's what we tried to do with this bill.
Do you think there's some feeling among some veterans that like, oh, well, I better not take advantage of these programs because I don't want to take away from other people who need it more than I do? You know, these veterans are such heroes as it is, you know, to come back and say, oh, well, this is actually, these benefits are designed for me. I just wonder if there's some of that out there.
100%. And it's funny that you mentioned it. I was just with at the Veteran Resource Center here in Holly, where I live, talking like at a round table with a bunch of veterans, and a bunch of them said it, you know, like, I didn't want to ask for help. I didn't want to, you know, there are guys who are suffering more than me. Let them take the help. I mean, it was classic service mentality, classic, you know, others need it more than me. So I'm not going to kind of dip my toe in that water. And we got to tell them that they worked hard and they did, you know, what most Americans do not do. They stood up and they deserve to take full advantage of everything that's offered to veterans.
Well, hopefully that will fly right through and get signed. I understand there was an election recently. You were in your own. There's also a presidential election. You know, as you look at Michigan here, what is your take on where we're at, the challenges? Is there an impact by taking some time and looking at allegations of fraud?
Well, listen, I mean, I think the voters have been clear, certainly in the state of Michigan, you know, 140,000 plus advantage for Joe Biden, and it's been called by, you know, the major organizations. I know that there are lots of lawsuits and lots of people interested in this, but, you know, in the words of the Republican former governor of Wisconsin, you know, they did 2 recounts in 2 cycles and it changed the vote by 130 votes. So, you know, they have a right to look into it, but we also have a right to shut down frivolous attempts to just, you know, undo the will of the voters. And we got to put democracy above any one person. And that would have gone, you know, for me, if President Trump would have won Michigan by 150,000 votes, you know, I'm not saying I would have loved it, but I would have accepted it. And I've been calling on my colleagues to do the right thing for democracy. And I expect that of elected leaders.
Yeah, the unity mantra is frustrating for a lot of conservatives. They're like, where was the unity 4 years ago? You know, the president was pretty much under attack from day one. It felt like he was under attack and it's still under attack until he leaves. Do you think that we can, as a country, can have unity and support whoever the president is someday again? I mean, obviously we're a very divided country. That, you know, it was great to see more people vote than ever before, but still, even you know, again, pretty much down the middle, a close election. You know, 75 million people voted for Biden, 71 million for Donald Trump. Do you think we can have unity again, and how do we get there?
Well, you know, I have to believe that we can be better than we are right now. I refuse to believe that our politics just are going to be like this for the rest of our lives, because I have to look at kids in the face and I don't want them to think that this is normal. I think a lot of it, honestly, will have to start at the local level, and it's going to require each of us, you know, to have some empathy and reach out to our neighbors. I mean, in Michigan, we're a swing state, and we have to, you know, we all live here. We're not going anywhere. And so I've been encouraging people to really try and, you know, reach out at the local level and try to get there. And listen, I you know, my in-laws are devoted Trump voters. My dad's a lifelong Republican. I mean, you know, we all have mixed families here, but what we can only fix what we have control over. And for us, that means here at the local level, not acting the way that they're acting at the national level, remembering that we're friends and we're neighbors, we're family. And that's where it starts.
Yeah, and even you know, right here in Michigan, there's a divide as well. It's interesting to see how it plays out. We have a divided government, but obviously the country works better if our leaders could lead by example and get along a little better.
That's right.
It might be easier for us as neighbors to get along. Appreciate you coming on. Congratulations. Really excited about this bill. I can't imagine there'll be much fighting amongst parties on helping veterans.
I don't think so, and we built it to be bipartisan, and my Congressman Joyce from Ohio is the Republican co-sponsor, so we're on our way.
Fantastic. Melissa Slotkin, thanks for being on the Paul W. Smith Show. Have a great week.
Thanks so much.
All right. It is 8:44. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more after we check in with weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Indeed delivers quality candidates, so you can focus on hiring the person who is a good fit. Claim your $75 credit for your first post at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
First, sponsored by Shelving.com. Shelving.com can help your business or warehouse close out the year strong with its selection of high-quality storage, shelving and bulk storage racks to NSF carts, holders. Shop the products you need. Step up your storage. Visit Shelving.com. That's Shelving.com. We rack your world. Accident-free now. Earlier accident along the Jeffries 96 eastbound at Inkster Road is clear. Seeing delays from at least Farmington Road. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 32 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com.
Cold front pushing through, a leftover shower. Other than that, it looks like we're going to see the drier air. The cooler air starts spilling in today. We'll see falling temperatures into the 40s this afternoon, especially with sunshine developing in the west wind, more like a fall day. Tonight, clear 31, suburbs a little colder. Sunshine tomorrow, 52. And by the way, yes, we did hit our record high yesterday, 77. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stachik on News Talk 760 WJR.
If you're thinking about replacing your windows, I want you to think about plastic. That's right, plastic. Most windows are made out of vinyl, which is just a fancy word for plastic. You know, the same thing they make those flimsy, cheap outdoor chairs from. Plastic. The same thing you put your sandwich in, or they make water bottles from. Plastic. Even expensive composite windows are really just plastic, made with wood. Plastic window frames will expand and contract, and expand and contract, and eventually warp in Michigan's nasty weather blender. Here's a better idea. Call Performance Remodeling for heavy-duty fiberglass windows that won't warp, won't bend, and won't lose their shape. They look fantastic and come with real lifetime guarantees. We can do that because they're made from fiberglass, not plastic. Call Performance Remodeling today at 586-540-6000 or online at windowsroofingsiding.com and replace all the windows in your house for as little as $2 a day. $2 a day. That's 586-540-6000 or online at windowsroofingsiding.com.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. Not only is it time for open enrollment for a lot of people, it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For the typical family, switching to MediShare saves about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people. Think what you could do with that. But if you join right now, MediShare is waiving their new member fee, so that's another $170 you'll save. And MediShare is really different. It's a community of Christians who share each other's healthcare bills. More than 400,000 people are members, and they've shared over $4 billion in medical bills. So yes, they can handle your bills too. This may be the time to make the switch. Join before November 30th for the additional savings. It's so easy to find out more. They're great to talk to. In fact, you can get a price within 2 minutes. Here's the number. Call 844-91-BIBLE. That's 844-91-BIBLE. 844-91-BIBLE.
At home with Robert, retired burglar and family man.
Carolers! That's the holiday spirit. Speaking of which, Simply Safe Home Security is having a huge holiday sale. Right now, you can get 30% off a new system and a free camera at simplysafe.com/holiday. That's 30% off the system U.S. News named the best of 2020. Simply Safe protects your whole home 24/7 with monitoring by professionals. The sale ends soon, so go to simplysafe.com/holiday for 30% off and a free camera today.
Dell Technologies just announced their Black Friday sale. They're releasing new doorbusters every weekday, plus up to 50% off cutting-edge tech for your business. There's no better time to upgrade your small business with the latest laptops and desktops with Intel Core processors, plus there's free shipping on everything. Yes, everything. Give Dell Technologies advisors a call. They'll identify the right tech solution for your business. Call 877-ASK-DELL or go to Dell.com/SB Black Friday. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Now back to more Paul W. Smith on WJR. Once again substituting, here's Kevin Dietz.
All right, it is November 11th, Veterans Day. It's 8:49 a.m., and it has been a beautiful week. Joining us now is Frank Beckman. Frank, this has been some really nice golfing weather the last week around here in southeast Michigan. I know you've had a little neck and back pain. I don't know if you've been able to get out there, but boy, it sure has been beautiful.
Not a single swing, my friend. Not a single swing. It's staring at me, believe me, when you see this lovely weather every day and you just can't go out and play.
What a waste of such great weather.
Yeah, it sort of is. But, you just you enjoy it any way you can in this life. And, if that's the worst that anybody has these days is a problem with their back or neck, they're ahead of the game with so many people much more seriously ill than that, as all of us know. From COVID and the effects of that, it's mind-boggling to think what other people are really going through. So losing a little golf time is a very, very small, insignificant price to pay.
Yeah, if the less I golf, probably the less my back would hurt because I spend a lot of time hitting the ground first instead of the ball.
Well, and I'm saving money too because I don't lose as many golf balls this way when I don't get to play.
Exactly. So I guess I heard somewhere there was an election and there was some they were looking at some votes and trying to figure out who the president was. It's been
president of what?
Crazy time, hasn't it?
Well, I mean, it just gets crazier and crazier. We've got, Dr. Zeke Emanuel, who worked in the Obama administration. He's the brother of Rahm Emanuel. Mm-hmm. And Zeke Emanuel has been named to the coronavirus task force. I don't know if you saw the story about Dr. Zeke Emanuel, but he says that he wrote back in 2014 in The Atlantic in a column entitled, "Why I Hope I Die at 75. He doesn't want to live beyond 75. And the man also does not want to distribute the COVID vaccine here to the United States first. He says our responsibility is to the world first. I don't know that many people agree with that, but there you are. He's going to be part of the administration.
Frank, I don't think you got the memo that we're all supposed to unify now and come together and sing Kumbaya. Everything is right again with the world.
Yeah, well, I hope it is right again very, very soon. But for now, we'll just have to cover what's out there. It's a very sad day in the WJR family too, Kevin. I don't know whether you knew Mike Wharf at all, but he was one of the absolute giants of our industry. He did the Kaleidoscope Show for many years here on WJR, and it was a daily program in the mid-'60s to the late '90s. He won the Peabody Award in 1968 for broadcast excellence and won numerous statewide and national honors, and just one of the great people and one of the great broadcasters in our station's long history, dead at the age of 88, Mike Wharf.
We played a clip of his. It was about 50 seconds long this morning, and it just gave me chills to hear that voice and the way his show was produced and the use of music in that. If you get a chance, grab the clip if you don't have some of your own.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if we can get that from you because that's really good.
It just, and people commenting on Facebook just saying, "Oh my gosh, what happened to that era of radio?" I mean, just what a voice, and I didn't know Mike, but everybody around the station just said, "What a terrific person."
Yeah, he was a wonderful person, and as far as broadcasting goes, he was just one of the best ever, and that's the greatest tribute I can give him. He entertained people, he educated people, and he's a part of WJR's history. Mike Ward.
A friend of WJR, John Ahey, also passed away, 56, cancer, wife and kids. His funeral is going to be online today. You can actually watch it anytime you want. It's at the SolanaCenter.org. I think the service is at 10, but it's going to be online there. And a real, just friend of the community and all around good guy.
Yeah. I'm sorry to hear that. I knew he was ill, but I did not realize that things had taken a turn for the worse.
Well, we had your friend, the governor, on today. She did not indicate that there's going to be more shutdowns. She said that we have to, double extra mask up and social distance. And
if she's very fond of patting herself on the back. Did she explain why we're having these outbreaks, these new surges in the coronavirus here in Michigan, nearly daily, setting new records for cases? I mean, how does she explain this with all of her work that she's done in trying to stop it?
She did not have a lot of specifics, but
Oh no!
but as these numbers shoot up, I do think it's important that we monitor the hospital beds and how many there are, and we don't want the hospitals to get overrun,
Yeah.
but it is you just hate to see people pointing fingers all the time at everybody about whose fault this COVID is, and like let's get to some solutions. This news of this vaccine is really exciting. Let's thank the people who helped us get there, and thank the people who continue to get us to where we need to be as quickly as possible, so that we can put this behind us.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll follow directions, we'll follow instructions, and hope that at some point all of these measures that our governor is taking work and stop the rise in corona cases. But we were warned, quite frankly, that there would be a sort of a second wave, and that may be what we're seeing right now with all of these record numbers of cases each day.
I think so. Tom Izzo was on too, and he sounds good, and he sounds.
I texted Iz, and then that's what I call him is when I text him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's how he answers.
For sure.
When he sends a message, he signs it is. So I feel happy to use that. But he and Greg Campy at Oakland University are both suffering from coronavirus now.
Yeah.
So they're battling that, and we just pray for their full recovery sometime very, very soon, and return to life as normal. Huh? Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah, it's a sneaky, invisible virus, and we really do all got to work together to get us through this thing. All right, Frank,
Indeed.
We'll be listening to your show. Thanks for stopping in.
Good work this morning again, as usual. Thanks.
All right, I appreciate it. We will be back tomorrow. Frank Beckman is up next. Thanks for stopping in. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk. Right now, we're going to check the weather and traffic with Dana Clark.
This report is sponsored by the Exergen Temporal Scanner. Fever is the leading sign of COVID-19. Use an accurate thermometer for twice daily checks. Protect your loved ones with the Exergen Temporal Scanner. It takes an accurate reading in seconds and is the only home thermometer recommended by hospitals, physicians, and clinics. It's
a wrap, Kev.
All right, Annie, we did it.
We did it.
We got through it. We talked to people. They talked back.
We have a few things for tomorrow.
Okay.
But if you see some stuff, send it my way.
I will take a look and see what we can get going. I'm sure.
Take a look at that one case too.
I did. I was looking at it during the break. That's it looked like just the cursory read I gave it. She said she wasn't aware of it happening, and the kids never told her, and it